Well, good evening and welcome to round two of season 3, 2023. We're in New York, and of course that means we're in Watkins Glen, in the Watkins Glen County, New York, United States for GT4s tonight. And you may recognise a slightly different voice this evening. It's Grant Gill in here backing up for Zach Caban, who's away on other duties this evening, so I'll be bringing you the racing this evening. Produced as always wonderfully by Adam Lavis. So here we are, Watkins Glen, track length 5.41 kilometres, temperature 31 degrees, track temp is 31, ambient is 20 indeed, altitude of 136 metres, no nosebleeds there. We've got an overcast day, 71% humidity and 15 kilometre an hour winds from the east by the looks of it. So looking forward to some fantastic racing. I missed last week's racing, of course, but we're going to bring you an absolute humdinger of a night's racing with GT4 challenged by Orbic, and of course Waste Options GT3s following on. Points as they exist after last week. Trent Lavis bringing out the Aston Martin again for 61 points, leading out Warwick Sharp. Good result there, 56 from him, and Greg Favell 54. So they're both in the Mercedes. Then it's Sam Chapman who's really come alive in this series over the last season or two in the Porsche, 45. Right alongside Dale Sharp, who's got a new livery on tonight, so looking forward to that. Then Nick Fodiatis, Anthony Visma, Nick Wood, Daniel Saar, new name to the club, and we'll be hearing and seeing a lot of Daniel over the course of this season. Looks like he might be picking up some of the Thursday night broadcasts, so big thanks to Daniel. Then Jared Knight, Gary Cousins, Brian Bullock, Sam Muir, Richard Mitchum having a run in the GT4s, and Ed Zamora, Eduardo in 15th place. So we're looking forward to some top racing here. Let's have a look at the grid. We've got Jordan Malcolm. He's on pole position with Sam Chapman, 0.073 alongside him. Sam Muir and Gary Cousins on the second row, starting to stretch out a little bit there, quarter of a second back. Anthony Visma and Greg Favell on the third row, Warwick Sharp and Jared Knight. Fourth row, Russ Green and Matthew Scholes, fifth row. Over the page, we've got Nick Wood alongside Aidan Schultz, row 6, Josh Suino and Nick Fodiatos, the Aussie Racers boys on row 7, Adam Burhop, David Christensen, row 8, Aaron Cooper, Dale Sharp, row 9, Stephen Brooks and Adam Proctor, row 10. On we go, Michael Schroeder alongside Alan Dawson, row 11, Paul Wood, Damien, someone or other on row 12. We've got Brian Bullock and Joe Baldwin, row 13. Good to see Joe in the server. Pete Matson, the man from Orbic, alongside Mitch McIntyre, row 14. Robert McGrath and Dale Jeffries, row 15. And just keeps going. Oliver Patterson, Brett Bradbury, then Daniel Correa and Wayne Visser, Brett Campbell and Greg Patchett, Greg Lenarzik and Phil King. So rolling start, and we always have rolling starts for GT4s.
GT4s, yeah, GT series, yes we do. And it's Damien Bishop Taylor. Bishop Taylor didn't quite fit in the space.
Copy that. All right, this should be good. Watch Jordan Malcolm and Sam Chapman in the Porsches, obviously suiting those cars. They come around the final turn, lining it up onto the straight. Safety car comes in, and let's get ready to hear these cars roar as they come by. Green light and we're away, and it is Jordan Malcolm and Sam Chapman. Sam Muir in the other purple car right alongside, and then it's Gary Cousins in the blue and white Porsche, and they go around nice and tidy. Watch for them to few to run wide as we, maybe not that wide, but someone's headed off into the sticks out the back there, careening away, but nice and safe through here. So far, so good. Early days, and the Hot Wheels car, he looked like he might have been running a bit wild out there, but no, he's got that nailed perfectly. Malcolm from Chapman and Muir, they've just eked out a little bit of a lead, and they've got to watch these curves through here. Porsches tend to have a nice habit of launching themselves and absolutely bouncing all over the place, so keep an eye out for that. But look at Anthony Visma in that olive, the light green car, right on the tail of these guys, and then Gary Cousins is just a couple of car lengths back. The other car there is that Greg Favell in the other green car. Yes, it is. And that's Accelerate Sim Racing. Round we go into the boot, up and around that hill, and it's so much steeper when you're looks like through there. Winding it up. Seems that that green is not dissimilar to the Orbic cars as well. So I think I saw Dale Sharp running an Orbic livery in there. But this is when they changed the track limits not so long ago. They really loosened up the outside of that end part of the boot. And Nick Fodiatis back in 15th place. He's made up. He's down one from the starting position, so he didn't get the Porsche off the line. And round we come, and into the final turn. Whirl it in side by side, two cars there. And that never goes particularly well through there, but obviously Jordan Malcolm gets the fastest lap of the race because he was the first one to jump. Down the inside we go. There's Russ Green on the outside, that's Nick Wood on the inside. And let's make it 3 wide, shall we, through the S's. And this is often fraught with danger. Or it might be he's had a slow down, or he's just backed out because he was a little loose. But Matthew Scholes doing a nice job there. It looked like the green car, which was trying to pick it up. Aiden Schultz, and he just might have just had to gather himself up a bit through there. Oh, here we go. That's a lovely move. Josh Swino just sliding past the black car of Joe Baldwin. And Adam Proctor in his confetti-coloured Aston Martin, McLaren. And so we've got just a couple of McLarens in the field tonight. And for those that don't know, I was chatting with Adam prior to the race. McLaren this season is just carrying about half the added penalty weight that they had last season, so they might be a little bit more competitive this time around. Sam Chapman doing a fantastic job in here. Caution, Mercedes, but up the inside, Sam Muir has a big look. He dives in there. Gets it around Sam very wisely, just opens the door just that little bit, gives him a breath of room, and tuck it behind him. And hope to hang on to the coattails of these guys. But look out for Andrew Bismarck, because he's next on the cards to have a dig at him. We'll just have a look through. Look at Mr. Patterson. He is up a stack of places. He's up 11 spots, Oliver Patterson. So he's in 20th. I suspect he probably didn't get much of a quali run in. So that's certainly done a good job for him getting through there. McIntyre is up 7. Rick Henry is up 8. So all pretty much steady goes. Furthest up is Adam Gordon. 4.5 minutes in with Ollie Patterson. I think in the Hot Wheels livery, which is not showing up on our little graphic. Oh, he's wide there through there, and he'll have to gather that one up. And through goes McIntyre. I think McIntyre, has he got him? Has he got him? He'll be on the inside into the heel of the boot down here, but no. It is Patterson who gathers it up, and that'll have been a hard mouth as he went through the rust. Dents in the roof as he went through there, because he was really travelling. Malcolm, Muir, Chapman, Visma, Cousins still hanging on. That's is that around the outside car. 3:08 is our fastest lap of the race, and that is Nick Wood a little bit further down the field. But Greg Favell right on the tail of Jared Knight over in the black Aston Martin. Real early entry. Oh, he's a bit late on that one, and as a result, Favell gets right alongside Jared Knight, and looks like the Aston's got plenty of poke down there. So Favell in the Mercedes, try and get it tucked in around here, not don't want to get that second row of the ripple strips on the inside there, because that'll just launch you out wide. He'll tuck in here and we'll try and get a nice little toe up here. Cars go a little bit light through here. Then you just grip the steering wheel just a little bit tighter and push the throttle down just that little bit more to try and catch him up. Try and pick the braking marker. Launch off the curbs. If your car's set up there, so far it's made up a bit of ground through there. Many ways to approach this corner, and it looks like Knight was just a little bit wide. He just checked it up on the input and headed down into the heel of the boot. Favell all over the back limb, so Knight's going to know all about I'm trying to figure out eucalyptus, maybe it is a eucalyptus coloured Greg Favell. A little bit wide there, he'll look to tuck in but at the same time, so Sharpie, great run last week. I think he's running second in the championship after 1 week, but he's got the old colours of, the name escapes me, of the team Warwick Sharp's riding for.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Racing, that's it. A bunch of great guys who joined the club early on and doing some of their own stuff. Stone Cold Racing, Sharp has had some beautiful liveries on those cars. Here we go. We'll run through some replays. Stephen Brooks, a little bit wide. There you go. He took too much of that inside curb, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, took another driver along for the ride. And there was a blue and white Porsche back there as well. So Paul Wood, he'll get caught up in this. Oh no, he doesn't. He does it all by himself. Heading back the wrong way, maybe he forgot to fill up and he's going to go in the sneaky way. It's unfortunate for him. Oh, here's Maddo. Oh, Maddo. There we go. It wouldn't, oh my goodness me. It would not be a Watkins Glen race without something going pear-shaped in the bottom of the S's there. Beautiful new livery, courtesy of Flash Graphics. Tree. Alright, here we go. This is Schroeder. Yeah, just got unbalanced as he went through the bus stop. He'll be alright out of that, so long as, yes, he doesn't get hit by someone else in the side. Alrighty, that's caught us up on a lot of those incidents. And we'll have a look where we're up to very shortly. Alright, we've got more replays going. This is Damien Bishop-Taylor. Oh, there's something amiss with the server.
The 30-plus car thing going on.
There you go.
When the smokers, it plays up a little bit sometimes, but it's not too bad. So I think it was just the replay was getting a bit too much. So here we go.
Copy that. So Jordan Malcolm starting to stretch out a little bit of a lead here. He's out by 2 seconds, and then Sam Chapman is within a third of a second of Muir, so he hasn't let him get away. But he might be looking and thinking, oh, maybe I've got to get either do something strategy-wise or do something to get by. 101 is our fastest lap of the race, and that is Sam Chapman, so the draft helping him a beaut. That looks like Favell. No, Cousins on Favell. They're having a good battle, and that's allowed David just to sneak away a little bit through there and winds it up. A nice little groove through here now. Those 2, 3 and 4 wides in the S's, which never works. Here comes Chapman on Muir. Chapman's got the wide running. Will he have the gumption to stick it out and go through here? He does indeed, and Muir just gives him just a hand's room through there and throws it down the inside. Look at Favell, Visma. No, it is the third car in there, and Muir still hanging on, but here comes Chapman. Chapman should get him through here, although you compromise your exit speed as you take that inside line. Will he squeeze him wide? He's left him a beautiful amount of room. Well done, Sam Chapman. That's wonderful racing from you. Now it gets tricky, and Muir does take a little early check up, and Chapman just a little bit wide. Look out for Visma now. He's going to have a good run on Chapman, so as they like to say in the Formula 1 circles, pass or be passed. That's more Formula 2 and Formula 3 indeed. But look at this, 2 by 2 into the
heel.
Oh, is that the heel of the boot?
I don't know if the other one's officially got a name, but I just call it the ankle.
Probably the ankle, yeah, I'd call it the ankle too. But so Chapman now, he's got bumped, and Jared Knight's got through on him for the moment. Will it stick? Chapman's doing a fantastic job side by side with these guys, giving enough room, and now he just lets him go for the moment, and he'll tuck in. Look at the who is that? That's Matthew Scholes, early pit stop. I wonder, we'll have to have a look at the replay on that, but that looked very painful. That fast repair is going to be looking for it. Will he get a bit of a bump from behind? Yep, he will.
He hasn't said he's going to the pits, and he's tried to brake. Yeah, so he's caught Schultz out there by not sort of letting him know he's going to the pits with that entry. It's very tricky.
It is indeed. We've got a few. Red Bull Ring always comes to mind when you talk about tricky hit entries, but this one certainly, it's always wise just to give a little heads up on the radio to say, I'm going to the pits this time. Oh, Jordan Malcolm, Sam Muir, Jared Knight, then Sam Chapman. Chapman getting monstered through here. I looked away at the timing screen. There'll be a touch. Chapman just wants to keep it clean. He wants to keep it clean, and Visma gets by now. Who else have we got in there? Gary Cousins. Gary Cousins on the inside. Then it's Sam Chapman. Adam Burhop is the yellow and blue white. So Sam Chapman sticks it underneath there, gets a little hammer on, and he'll try and make the run down the inside through here work on nobody. Tucks into the draft again. So moving around a little bit with the tyres, and there goes Burhop. That's how wide you can take it. You can take it so much wider than that again, but the Accelerate boys are doing a fantastic job in there, and Jared Knight, we always expect him to be there or thereabouts in the black acid.
Look who's looking at.
Who's that? Gary Cousins?
No, Nick's...
Nick Claudiatis. He's made up a million plays as well, 5 to be exact, but if I've been told once, I've been told a million times. I exaggerate. But Nick Claudiatis, 7th place, up 7 spots, and he'll be closing in. He's got Aaron Cooper on the back of him, but Gary Cousins' teammate to Nick is just a little bit further up the road by about 1.2 seconds. So Nick's starting to find his groove because he was down a few early on. Daniel Correa is flying up the field. There must be some pitters in there. Indeed there are. So we've got plenty of people getting in and out of the pits at this point in time. So 0 stops for everyone, all the way down to 15th spot is Adam Burhop is the first of the pitters, and he's going to be, he was right up there with the boys, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that works out in a few more laps. So about 18 minutes into these races, maybe squeak a little bit more out. So, we'll have a couple of laps where people are pitting and positions up. Michael Schroeder there with...
I think Nick booked for the wrong car because that's the delivery normally runs.
No, it's
pretty
not.
sure he's normally in the poor car. I think he was in the poor car last week. I can double check, but I think he's accidentally grabbed the wrong car this week.
Whoopsie. Half points, and in the very generous fashion of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, if you do race the first race and think, oh mate, I've made a big mistake choosing this car, often you're allowed to take half points for that first round and then go for a second car for the rest of the season. But it's not the spirit of the thing, but it is very tricky to work out exactly which car you're going to get for Spooner Skulls. Yes, indeed. All right, so Jordan Malcolm, Jared Knight, Greg Favell, and Visma, Cousins, Fodiatis. So we must have had Sam Chapman must have been in and out of the pits as well. Yes, he is. in behind Burhoff in that lower order there of the 20s, down towards the 20s. So Jordan Malcolm doing a nice job out in front. He's stretched that lead out to 3.8 seconds, so he's really making good time out there. Last lap round 1:53.637, just a fraction quicker than Jared Knight, but a good 4 or 5 tenths faster than Greg Favell in third. We're looking at Greg Favell right now in the GSRC racing, and the boys are lovely their Mercedes. Greg's up 3 spots, Jared Knight up 6. So that is, of course, the Aussie races, and that's Cousins and Fodiatos. Now in 5th and 6th. Nick hasn't been able to make up much ground. He's still 1.5 back, but we know all of a sudden we start getting some socials popping up, which is always good to have. Matt Stewart cheering on the 1-9. Ex-Raps boys. And Trent Lavis, he is a big fan. I think Trent's favourite configuration for this is the non-boot, just the flat-out drag around the shorter version of the track.
You know, normally if we get Waddies or Parents Hatch, Trent's all on board, but he's on a little trip with the missus for the week, so unfortunately the sim can't fit in the back of the car with the luggage, so he's going to take a week off.
All right, drop down. Nice move by Dale Sharp there, just doing a good job. And as we saw, wow, look at this pit lane. Fodiatos is in. You've got Cousins in. Both the everyone from the front. Malcolm's in. Visma, Cousins, Favell, Knight, Fodiatos, Cooper, Patterson, Jeffries. They're all in and out. So out comes Jordan Malcolm. He's in and out in a flash. And how will he go with Sam Muir?
I think he's done 2 seconds faster pit stop, so he smashed him.
Oh, well done to him. He was already 2 seconds up. He's now 5.2 seconds up. Yes, Trent, it's a familiar lament for any man travelling. Very nice, well done. But at least you get to watch Ben.
Here comes Chapo.
Yes. Oh, round the outside.
Yeah, you've got to have the nose in front. You've got to have the nose in front there to get that move done. So he's pulled out of it.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And he's slowed Favell right up there. So Burhoff's been able to skip away a little bit. But as we've seen, it's a track that's really favouring the Porsches significantly.
It's given Favell a bit of a nose job.
It has. It's not the way you'd like to have it, to really bumped in there, so it might be a touch of aero mucking up about there. But look at Chapman right back onto the back of Burhoff very, very quickly. Now is correctly
21 spots was gained.
Oh yeah, that's fair effort. Fair effort, and everyone's pitted.
I'm not sure if he's qualified. Let's check if he's qualified or not, but that's a good effort.
Yes, yeah, no, I think he was a long way down, so it might have been one of these latecomers or just couldn't get a lap.
Burb's made a mistake.
Yep, Chapman's racing Burb. Really throw it down the inside. He certainly had a look, trying to upset him. Right behind Chapman is Greg Favell, so Chapman's got to be very smart with how he goes about this. Might leave it a lap or two. 5 minutes to go, so not long to play, but right on the back end. And he'll be looking to have another go at that run up into bus stop. Maybe he'll try and get the nose inside this time. And watch the Burhoff to shut this down, get to the inside and stay to the inside as much as he can. Try and make him go the long way round. He does exactly that. Here comes Chapman. He draws alongside. Who's going to be the last of the great breakers? Oh, it's very nicely done by both. Chapman again compromised, and Favell this time sees it coming and he takes looks a wide line through here. Now he'll try and tuck in, but look at the two boys behind him, the Aussie racers. We've got Cousins and Fodiatis right with them, and Aaron Cooper not too far away as well. So Fevell having a look around the outside of Chapman, and that invites Gary Cousins to have a look down the inside. Fevell will say, "Where'd you come from, mate?" And he'd say, "It's all right, I brought my mate with me behind as well." And another push, so look out. Fevell down the inside, hard breakers, try and get it turned in. Don't want to run wide this time.
Gary's done well to pull that off around the outside there. That's a hard move to make done.
He certainly has, and Fodiatis is now having a look at that run as well, and he's down the inside, so that just checked up Fevell just a fraction and allowed the two of them through. Now Chapman's been able to skip away, and he's onto the tail of Burhop at 3.75 minutes to go. Malcolm leading from Muir, then Jared Knight, Adam Burhop, Sam Chapman, Gary Cousins, Nick Fodiatis, Aaron Cooper just got past, well, just in the process of getting passed by Fevell. And Chilwick and Patterson just back there in 10th place, 21 spots to the good this evening. What a brilliant bit of racing all through there. Gary Cousins just threw it in. The Porsche must be absolutely handling like a dream for him to pull that one off. And here we go. Aaron Cooper. Very standard Mercedes. It's one of Trading Paint's standards. And here we go, Russ Green. Of course, I've now got to decide who's going to be the Orbic commentator's choice this evening to pick out our driver of the night. Not necessarily based on performance. It might be enough to do a fantastic move, and there's another one from
slow down for Chapo.
Gary Cousins, Chapman. Oh, that's the last thing you want at this stage. So Fodiatis up 8. Cousins is down 1 from where he started. Excuse me, and Burhop is up 11. 2 minutes 20 to go, and we're travelling at 1:53, so it'll probably be this and one more. Now it's going to be Cousins, who has a big look at Burhop as they come down here, and Nick Fodiatis will be just spooking around out the back, waiting to pick up any pieces that should Gary's passing opportunity arise and inconvenience Burhop at all. But look at the pace these Porsches have got, closing right in, and then Chapman back down onto the tailpipe of Nick Fodiatis. Jordan Malcolm doing a good job just about across the line. I think he already is. So I'd say will be white flag, and I think I saw Barney there in somewhat of an appropriate spot. I can just see it in the top right corner there. So Malcolm is 4.2 seconds ahead of Muir. Jared Knight is just 8/10 behind him. And then it's this crazy battle, 5 seconds back of Burhop, Cousins, Fodiatis and Chapman. Car 308 picks up fast battle. That's Nick Wood. So nice work from Nick Wood there. Here comes Cousins. Got a good draft up here. Going to try and get alongside Burhop goes for the inside, and then he's going to get the best run through here. They're all doing very nicely. The Porsche's managing that very, very nicely. I know they can be a bit pogo-y if you don't set up the dampers too well, and a little bit wide for Burhop, but now it's Chapman's going to have a real red-hot go at Fodiatis by the looks of it. Out in front, Malcolm's got it one, but from Muir, and then it's Jared Knight, Burhop there. I've not seen what Burhop's done, so I can't comment on that. I take it Josh isn't voting for him for driver of the night. But coming down, looks like Burhop's done enough for the time being. A little bit wide. But Jordan Malcolm out in front. He's been exemplary, absolutely faultless from start to finish. And the 19 MX Wraps boys will be wrapped with that as they comes across the line. Brilliant job by him. Sam Muir is just going to pull up the second spot, so a 1-2 for them. Jared Knight, well done. It's Lapper. And then it's going to be a burr hop from Cousins. Oh, look at Favell having a dive, but no, doesn't quite get there. Barney giving us a good rendition of the iRacing flag wave. And then big gaps for drivers further back. But Nick Woods picked up the fastest lap of the race, so he'll be pretty chuffed with that. Where did we just trying to look for Warwick Sharp, and it looks like Warwick went out 7 laps ago, so didn't have the run that he had last week, unfortunately. Yes, indeed. It certainly suited the boys this week. And best placed Porsches, even though they're managing really well around here. Gary Cousins in 5th, Nick Fodiatos in 6th, and Sam Chapman in 7th. And they were all within half to a second of one another. So really good job by Jordan Malcolm. He'll be happy with that. And they're going for the photo opportunity here of the two 19 MX Wraps cars. Got to be quick. It's gone. So Matthew Skoll still bringing it round, and he's down 3 from where he started, and he's already finished, I suspect, or has he not? Trying to figure out.
I think we're just waiting for Greggy.
Alrighty. Yeah, there's for those who aren't familiar, it's Safari. I had a seniors moment going. Doesn't look like Laguna Seca. Yes, it's definitely not Laguna Seca. So that's Greg across the line, and here we go. Let's have a look at these placings and some of the gaps in there. So Jordan Malcolm with a really good 4.5 second lead there from Sam Muir. Teammates bring it home 1 and 2. Jared Knight for HTS Racing in 3rd place, and then that was about 5.6 back from the winner, and then another 6 seconds back was Burhop, Cousins, Fodiatos, Chapman. Cooper was in there. Favell couldn't quite get the night to finish as it was starting. And then Ollie Patterson, he must have been up, let me see, 21 spots to finish in the top 10. So great job by him. Nick Wood took out the fastest lap of the race then. Visma from Scholes, Green, Bishop Taylor is down to 15. Proctor, Jeffries, Wood, Correa and Dawson take us down to the top 20. Then it was Wayne Visser, Pete Matson, Phil King, Joe Baldwin into 24th, Michael Schroeder 25. And then the non-points places are Padgett, Bradbury, Culbraith, Lenarzik, Sharp, McIntyre, Kellond, and these are all non-finishers from here. Campbell, Schultz, Zwino, Sharp, McGrath, Brooks, Bullock and Christensen. Well, that was a pretty fair offering, Adam. We saw some of the murders and the mishaps back in the field there, but we've got a couple of the boys. Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of the boys have jumped in to join us. We'll start with Nick Fodiatos for the moment. Nick, that was a pretty good effort. How do you feel
Hello,
about
Grant.
that? Hello, mate.
Good evening. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. And yourself?
Sweaty now. The Bailey Ladders Porsche needs some air conditioning or something. I don't know. For 12 laps around the Watkins Glen, it was actually quite a lot of fun. Had some good racing.
You did indeed. You obviously, well, apparently didn't have quite enough to give Gary any grief through there, but you're quite happy to sit in his wind shadow and pick up the pieces as they got through. Yeah,
the last 3 times we've raced GT4s here, I've been in a first lap crash either turn 1 through the S's or at the bus stop. So I was just relieved to get the first lap done, and then after that it was head down. So there was all sorts of shenanigans going on. I thought I'd just keep well clear of that and just concentrate on my race and I guess prosper at the end, which I did last week as well. So you got to be in it to win it. You got to be at the end to finish first. First you have to finish. So that's the main goal.
That's it, yeah, and I did notice you dropped a couple of spots early on, so discretion was very much the better part of valor there for you.
You can see on the replay there, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to give everybody a wide berth, let's see how this shakes out at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, it's very good tactic and technique. You're driving it like you own it, aren't you, and you're paying for the repairs.
Oh, mate, if I owned a 718, geez, that'll be fun.
It would indeed. Well, well done to you, sir.
big shout out to Greg Favell and Aaron Cooper. Had some great racing with those guys through the field.
Absolutely.
And then run shotgun for Gary Cousins at the end there.
Yeah, no, great job, mate, and up 8 spots. Got to be happy with that. Was it a matter of not getting a quali lap to your liking, or that was all you had?
Man, I'm like Russell Ingall. Like I can't qualify to save my life. Top 10 is all I aim for, but it's like trying to get that extra 10th. Yeah. All I needed was a 10th and a half to jump 5 spots or something, 3 spots, and I couldn't get it.
Tight. Yeah. All right, mate. Well done. We've got a stack of people in here with us. So I'm going to try and jump through the. Go well. Having a run in GT3?
No.
No. Good. Well, enjoy your evening. You've probably got an early
start.
Right.
Keep up the good work, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. We might jump from there. Joe Baldwin was second or first into the booth. So, Joe, quick chat. Not the night you would have liked, but had a bit of fun, I hope.
Hey, look, I've got to say, it was going good up until I had my pit stop. I think I climbed up, I think I qualified 22nd or 3rd or somewhere around there. And I climbed up to about 12th spot, just staying out of trouble and doing my thing. And as I came out of the pits, there was a car spun on the exit of the pits and I had to go around. No. Got a 30-second stop and hold in the pits.
What a bugger. Sorry, mate. You would have qualified 26 because you finished 25 up 1 spot. But,
there you go. So from 26 to 12th, by the time the pit come around, I'm pretty happy with that. It was a lot of people were sort of making mistakes and getting tangled up, and I just tried to stay out of trouble. Campbell, is it? I think. No, the young bloke with the Hot Wheels car there. He was the guy on. Track there, he was pretty quick and giving me a bit of the hurry up, but I let him go and just followed him along, and a few guys made mistakes. But yeah, that pit exit was sort of brought me undone through no fault of my own, unfortunately.
Yeah, and how's the Aston around here? Because it certainly seemed to suit the Porsches. The guys in the Porsches seemed very comfortable. How is the Aston?
Very difficult to keep up with in Porsches, mate. Once that Hot Wheels thing got by me, it's not much faster in the corners, but getting onto the straights, the thing's a rocket.
Yeah, and it's always been strong under braking as well, hasn't it, the Porsche?
Yeah, definitely, and that's probably one of the Achilles heels, like, for the Aston, but sort of overall I find it probably a fairly easy-ish car to drive.
Yep.
So I'll stick with the Aston for another season, and we might look at changing next season. I certainly won't be doing a Porsche in the GT4. I own it, but I can't drive that. I have less luck driving that than I do in the Aston.
Well, it's you got to pick your horses for courses, and hopefully there'll be a few courses that fall into the wheelhouse of the Aston. You're certainly taking plenty of curb through there, and that has been a downfall of the Porsche previously. They could really pogo over some of those curbs and just spit you out. I know coming up over Eau Rouge and Radion. It was death in a Porsche, but well done to you, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed your evening, and
I did.
Good to have you in. And we'll let you go. You doing any more racing tonight? Or?
Yeah, I'll do the GT3 AM. I'm not real good in the GT3, but I'll go in there for a bit of fun. And good to have you back too, Grant.
You're very welcome. Yeah, it was Adam just was a bit sneaky about it. He said, could you do GT4s? You'll only have to do that. Then a little bit later in the week, it was, Liam can't do GT3s. Can you stay all night?
Yeah, no such thing as just GT4s.
That's right. All right, mate. Well done. Enjoy your GT3s. And where are we off to in the GT3s?
Virginia, VIR.
That should be a very interesting evening's racing. Good luck and go well. We'll see
Good luck, guys.
Okay. All right, we probably should we'll work up to the start, I think. And Jordan Malcolm's in here with us. Jordan, congratulations. That was a great drive. Seemed fairly untroubled and had the Porsche absolutely screaming out there. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Yeah, it was a pretty relaxing night. Just chilling in the VC with myself and Sammy. Once the two Sams got into a fight, it was just about just maintaining that lead just until the pit stop phase and not making any mistakes, just trying to maximise the points.
Yeah, whilst you had a very calm and collected evening up front, the rest of the boys were really going at it, and Sam, being Muir and Chapman, they certainly had a good ding-dong battle, but Sam was just a little bit cautious, I think, and rightly so. He didn't want to put anyone else off, but he got monstered a bit through there, but where are we heading next week? Adam, have you got a graphic for that, or do I have to look and see that we're going to Nürburgring? We do indeed. How are you around there in your Mercedes, in your Porsche? Sorry, Jordan. You're looking forward to the next round?
Yeah, I think the Porsche suited did pretty well around Nürburgring last time, I remember. So I think it'll be fine if I can just repeat what I did last time.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So we'll see what everyone else shows up and brings.
All right, mate. I'm going to skip through this reasonably quickly to give everyone a chance that are racing further on, a chance to do that with a bit more time. So congratulations to you. Well done, and we will see you again next week, and really looking forward to some more racing from you.
So good. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, might jump to Sam Chapman now, because started well, Sam, but as I said, the boys seem to just be a little bit more aggressive, perhaps, or a little bit more willing. What can you tell me about your night, Sam Chapman?
Yeah, I just don't think I was. I was giving it a crack at times, but I wasn't really, I guess, overtaking the right spots, and then I got a bit impatient, and sort of kept trying the bus stop about 4 different times around the outside there. And about 4 different times I lost myself about 1.5 seconds, including a slowdown at the end. So, yeah, I think I probably should have just sat behind, Sam and Jordan for a little bit longer before getting into it. Because as soon as Sam and I got into a battle, we had people right up us, and the slightest error just meant that you could fall right back into that pack.
Absolutely. You're in the midst of a stack of really good racing. You're 2x2 right around a good part of the track as well. So Greg Favell was in there, Burr Hop, Jared Knight, I think Sam Muir. You had a good run with a whole bunch of guys there, and you probably come away pretty happy with how things went, but thinking it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely, because I think I ended up 7th or something in the end, which is,
Yes.
I guess, a bit of a letdown, because the pace was there to keep up with the front guys, but it just was a case of not quite managing the race properly, and yeah, maybe being a bit cautious, but there were also times, that Sam only just saved it when I went into his rear quarters as well, so, I can't say that I was taking it, carefully, right? But yeah, it was good fun out there. It was great racing, but yeah, stressful.
Yeah, live and learn, I guess. That's all part of the experience of doing this, and you're not having to pay for any repairs to your beautiful little Golf Porsche. So a good night all in all, I would have thought.
Yeah, good night all in all. It's sort of a bit of practice in the pack battles still, and still competitive up there, which is good. So yeah, but as well, once again, we've got a whole bunch of competitive guys at the front, so a lot of fun.
Yeah, and congratulations on some really, really good close racing. Too wide in the bus stop rarely ends well, but it was very respectful and hard and fair racing. So good on you, Sam. You've really found your feet in these GT4s, and it's great to see you doing well.
Yeah, thanks, Grant.
Alrighty, jump back up to the second place car. Sam Muir, how did you enjoy your night, Sam? There's plenty going on.
Yeah, there certainly was that, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. That was some great racing there with my fellow Sam. I think we went too wide through the bus stop 2 or 3 times, and you're lucky if you can make it around there once. So yeah, really respectful racing, and hats off to him. He certainly didn't make it easy.
Yes, indeed. It was great stuff to watch, and I'm hoping the viewers at home were enjoying themselves as well, because you certainly brought it to the fore, and just didn't have enough pace to get up to Jordan, or was it a matter of with all that battling, it just chipped away those tenths and half seconds away from Jordan?
Yeah, we were chatting about it in VC during the race, but even when I was right behind him in draft, he was still pulling away from me down the straight. So, yeah, I don't know if it was just the setup and I had too much wing on the Merc, or yeah, whether the Porsche's just that rapid in a straight. I suppose, yeah, we'll find out next week when we go to Nürburgring.
Yes, indeed, because there's always a little bit of tinkering with the balance of power, and also different cars suit different tracks at different times. So if you can take an extra click off your wing and still be in control, then it gives you a big advantage. And that's the trouble, isn't it? You can't look at the other bloke's car and say, oh, he's got this much wing or that much wing. You've just got to do what's best for you and hope you've picked a good balance.
Yeah, exactly. And it does usually take, a couple of rounds, especially with the revised bot for this season. So, yeah, just still making those little tweaks to the setup. But, yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out soon and hopefully get a win.
Yes, indeed. Well, you're up there and thereabouts, and I'm not sure if Adam was mucking about with some points, but you're up there and thereabouts early on. In the points. So looking forward to seeing what you can bring in that Mercedes of yours, and hoping you have a continued run of good luck and good driving partners to take you through the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. If the racing's like that for the whole year, then really looking forward to it. And just before I go, just to shout out to our teammate Jakey Jackson, who can't get in the rig at the moment, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back out there with us soon.
Oh, he got something in plaster, or he's a bit incapacitated at the moment?
Yeah, a bit incapacitated at the moment, but thinking of him, and he'll be back in the rig soon, hopefully.
All right, big shout out to Jake Jackson there. He's always very competitive as well. And that brings us to third place driver tonight, up 5 places, Jared Knight. Good evening, Jared. Enjoy your evening?
Yeah, that turned out a lot better than it was looking early doors. The Aston was just rapid on cold tyres, so made the most of that. And yeah, probably got kept into it with the boys battling ahead, and then just took advantage of some mistakes, and yeah, just didn't have much for Sam at the end, but yeah, third's definitely good from where we were.
Yeah, you're about, you're exactly 1.13 seconds behind Sam, but being in all those battles as well, that was very willing, and it just chips away at your time, doesn't it? It's very easy to lose a couple of tenths, half a second here and there, if not more. So, to hang on in the clear air towards the end there, very nice job, and it seems everyone's fairly happy with their cars to this point in time, and it's just a matter of a few little tweaks and wing settings which may make some difference going forward. But what were you saying, Nürburgring next week, and how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, obviously jumped from the Merc last season into the Aston, and didn't get as much testing as I thought I would, so struggled last week on a track that I'd never raced at, so I think to come away with 9th last week, that was the best of the situation we had. And then yeah, I think tonight sort of come to see that the Aston's got a fair amount of legs in a straight line on the Merc, so yeah, hopefully at Nürburgring we can take advantage of that.
Excellent. It sounds good. I'm just looking at some points being tallied, and Adam hasn't done them all up yet, but it looks like it's very much as you would expect at the start of the season. A bit of a logjam there, so continue going well and good luck. And at the moment, it's that top 3 was a Porsche, a Mercedes, and an Aston. So nice spread of cars, and clearly the Bop's not too far away. But well done, Jared. A fantastic job this evening, and I will let you go, and we will catch up with you again on another occasion. So well done, Jared. Third place tonight in the Orbic GT4 Championship.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. And yeah, I think Adam's got the Bop spot on this season.
Excellent, good to hear. And there may be further discussion later in the piece, but it's nice, and it's not doesn't come easily as well, because you've got different people driving different cars in different ways to what those who may be testing it. But good to hear, and I'm sure Adam will have a little wry smile on his face and go, "Yep, I've got it this time." So well done to you, and we wish you a good evening.
Yeah, thanks, Grant.
All the best. Alrighty. Yes, we'll do. The new award for the GT4 Championship brought to you by Orbic, and that is Pete Matson is working with Orbic, which is an American company, and they're makers of computers and phones and all sorts of things. So he has thrown up for offer for the commentator's choice of the evening a GSRC branded shirt, and I'm going to go. I'm always terrible at this sort of thing, but I'm going to go with Sam Chapman for some really, really good racing in there. Very competitive, very respectful, and for that point, he made some good pass attempts. He stuck it out and gave the drivers around him a hard time. So Orbic Commentator's Choice Award, the inaugural, the very first one, goes to Sam Chapman. So congratulations to Sam. He's in the booth, but he's got his microphone muted. Here he is. Sam Chapman, congratulations. The very first winner of the Orbic Commentator's Choice Award of a GSRC branded shirt. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. I certainly didn't expect an award after tonight's performance. So, no, thank you, Grant. I think it could be a little bit of an inside job that it's going to another commentator who's going to be commentating afterwards, but I'll take it nonetheless.
No, look, I think it's not an award that's necessarily for that top 3 or top 5. Often that's the same people week in, week out. And your sportsmanship and driving and respect is what shone out there. Very close second was Paul Wood for the fantastic run around the toe of the boot, making the pass out there. Gary Cousins. What did I say? Gary Wood. Anyway, Gary Cousins for that wonderful run around the outside. That was a brilliant pass, and of course because of all the fantastic racing in that top 5 or 6, we didn't get to see a lot of what was going on down the back end of the field. So well done to you, and you can be a bit rougher next time, because you can't win it twice in the season. But good on you, Sam. Well done to you, and we'll call that for this evening. Here we go, points. Oh, Greg Favell, who finished this evening at in 9th spot, is leading the points charge. So 89 from Sam Muir. Sam up 11 spots. Thank you very much. Tied with Sam Chapman on 84 points. Jared Knight in 3rd on 83. Nick Fodiatis 82. Gary Cousins 81. So that's then Jordan Malcolm, Anthony Visma, Trent Lavis, and Warwick Sharp. And Lavis and Sharp, Lavis of course not here this evening, and Sharp being brought undone fairly early on. So very tight, as you would expect after rounds, but Favell just with a 5-point lead there. Alrighty, what time's our very shortly. All right, well, we'll jump into the break and let Adam gather up his thoughts and all his little bits and pieces, and we'll get back to you in just a few minutes to get on with the GT3 from Virginia International Raceway, VIR, regular points. So looking forward to that. Stay with us, and we'll see you back shortly. Welcome back. Here we go. We are off to Virginia International Raceway, and we'll have another dig at that. Here we go, Virginia International Raceway, tucked out there in Alton, Virginia, USA, in beautiful greenery of the surrounding area. Tricky little course, well, long, but tight and winding. That early part of the track is very challenging, and you get a couple of these big GT3s alongside one another. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the boys get themselves around there tonight. There we go, 5.22 kilometres long, 22 degrees temperature. The ambient is 19, track is 22. It is partly cloudy, as it was up in New York, and we're in Alton, altitude of only 166 metres. And I'm very pleased to say 60-minute race, but I'm very pleased to say Sam Chapman's stuck with us this evening, and he's going to help me out. We'll be on to him very shortly, but have a look at the points after last week. Some interesting, very interesting results there. Richard Mitchum leading with 55 points from Brock Kelly, 53. So it was a 2 and a 2 for Richard last week, a 4 and a 1 for Brock Kelly. Then it's Nick Wood. Matty Dench was brought undone in the second race, finishing 20th.
And me and Zach, I'm pretty sure we were talking last week, we're pretty sure this is the first time in almost the 6 seasons NGC Championship that he isn't leading the championship. So something new for the GT3 boys, someone else in front.
Wow, and then
a new carrot.
Yeah, and then as tight as you like. The top boys have 11 and 13 points lead, but then 42 and 42 for Wood and Dench. Cox and King on 41 and 41, and Hewitt and Wright on 40. So that's going to take quite a bit of sorting out to get there, to find out where we sit. But here we go. Richard Mitchum, he's qualified in pole, 0.158 faster than Matty Dench. Oscar Glissett and Simon Cox on row 2. Chok Fung Wong in 5th place. That's a really good qualifying from him, but 6/10 back alongside Nick Wood from Twitchy Foot. Brock Kelly and Alan Holgerson on row 4, and then Richard King and Aaron Cooper row 5. As we pop over the page, perhaps we'll go from here. There we go. Adam Burhop and Glenn Arnott in row 6. Adams and Radell in row 7. Knight and Vincent, Rick Vincent, well done Rick Vincent, in row 8. Rob Hill and Reece Dixon, row 9. Andrew Dutch and Jonathan Hooper, row 10. Then we've got Adam Chiplin and Jordan Malcolm, Jonathan Hooper, sorry, there on row 10. Adam Chiplin, Jordan Malcolm, Scott Wooden, David Christensen, row 12. Martin Carew and Braden O'Loughlin on row 13. And John Jennings and Wayne Hewitt, row 14. I'm not sure if Dave Oliver and Alan Dawson will be starting with us, but bear with Adam as he adjusts some of his cameras, because there's a new scan of Virginia International Raceway. So there might be a few different off-track places and all sorts of things going on tonight. But Sam Chapman, good evening to you after your fantastic racing in that previous race. But what are you looking forward here to here tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward, clearly, Denchi has a bit of a challenge with the McLaren now. So watching sort of how he adapts and how the rest of the field can compare to him, and whether it would be a bit of a challenge there. Clearly getting qualified pole this time. I don't know what happened in the race last week, but
so last week there was a big turn one, sort of like the 3 incidents in one where a couple of basically guys didn't check up for the first incident, and Denchi got caught up in it, and no fast repairs in the second race, the sprint race. So he had to get the repairs done. He finished like 3 or 4 laps down, but got the points in the end.
True. Okay, well then this is, it's a tricky track, and if you do make a slight error, you end up in a completely different postcode. So I'd imagine we'll see a bit of grass cutting tonight. But yeah, we'll see if these guys can keep it on track.
Yeah, Mitchum holding him. It looks like he's gone now, and Dench will have that fire-breathing drag, and lovely colours of that from McLaren as well. Looks really beautiful, his cars, as his cars always do. And round we go. Richard Mitchum for Twitchy Foot Racing, and it looks like Dench is just a little bit cautious there with the cold tyres, and that's allowed Oscar Glissett to sneak through. Chuk Fong Wong in the Lambo by the looks of it, and he's back there in sixth. Big wide run there, and who's that sneaking through? Brock Kelly, is it? In the green vehicle. Yeah, you can see how narrow this track is, and through here you're just wiggling charge up the hill. Looks like it's got a bit of a run on through there, but again, you get up over here and you've all of a sudden got to start thinking of a left turn at the top of the hill, and that can have you off into the weeds. It looked like the green car in front was doing something very close to that. Dave Riddell back in 15th there, but then we come around and there's a tree on the inside. No, that's different.
Tree got cut down.
Tree got cut down in the new scan. Oh, let's get Greenpeace on them. I don't know about that, but that was always the sighting mark. But look at Richard Mitchum absolutely scooting away already. 1.2 seconds to the good. Absolutely flying out in front. And then round this bottom, this next section, you're just tiptoeing all the way around these apexes as you get in here. You want to carry as much speed as you can out of the bottom here, because they come up past the buildings there on the right, and absolutely rag strip down to the end, and even towards the end of here is another really tricky braking spot. You don't want to wash off too much speed, but you have to wash off plenty. And Chuk Fong Wong, nice move down the inside there. Lovely work on the twitchy foot. So that was on Nick Wood. Out front, Richard Mitchum, only 8/10 of a second, so they've gathered him up a little bit through there. So Oscar Glissett and Matty Dench in very close company. It's all pretty tight through there. Simon Cox. Long in 6, Wood in 7. Fantastic sounds in these cars, roaring through the fields of Alton, Virginia. Just settling into a bit of a rhythm. Looks like Glissett's really starting to close up onto Mitchum up the front, but some great racing in the middle here. Looking at Richard King with Glenn Arnott and Jeff Adams all about the place. Going to be interesting to see how the guys hold up over 60 minutes, because any one of these turns can be a absolute cracker of an air generator, and just toss you a little bit wide. A little bit of grass on the outside of the inside can bring you undone completely. But Dench just settling in. He might be on a fuel save already, which wouldn't be unsurprising. We'll have to see how the McLaren suits him. But Oscar Glissett that time round, 1:44.920, fastest lap of the race. That was a good 7/10 faster than Mitchum out in front. Yeah, we'll Mr. Suicidal Sloth. Don't rush into anything, but just hang in there. We'll have a chat with Denchi afterwards, I'm sure. Well, if he performs well enough, I'm sure we'll have a chat. We'll see what his thoughts are on having chosen the McLaren. If nothing else, he appears he's set himself a pretty good challenge.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard of the McLaren, it's quick if you can control it, but it's pretty difficult to keep on track. So on a track like this, as well, yeah, we're at the real overtaking points. I guess the end of the first straight, the pit straight, but through here, it's relatively straight. But to go side by side through all those corners is a tough ask and a big risk. So we just see these guys get done throughout, and whether they just sit here and try and fuel save for a bit instead of taking any risks.
Yeah, I think the best overtaking spots are right where someone else makes a bit of an error in front of you, and that's what we'll be relying on. I think is a little bit of tiredness or a little bit of looseness to make much of a move. You can see none of the cars are really making much ground on their own because they've all got the draft. apart from Richard Mitchell, who's out in front just by 0.14 of a second, getting very close up front. But everyone's got the draft, and it's just constantly swerving left and right and left and right, and there's really, as you say, there's the braking at the end of this straight, and but it's still not down to a hard turn. You come in and carry as much speed as you can. So
big battle for first place at the moment as well. Sorry, like they're all going side by side through there to start with. Mitchum's managed to hold on to it, but Jench is right on the back of those two now with Blissett too.
Oh, there's a dive down the inside, and little hip and shoulder. Jeff Adams doing a good job down the inside for Ramrod Racing. Oh, and he's taken a touch. He's been straightened up as well. We'll have to have a look at that back and see exactly what went on there. Who in the zoo is that's cost him big time through there. He's lost a lot of time.
Absolutely, it looked like he just lost the back, and when you lose the back on those Porsches, it can go pretty quick on you. So. Yeah, they do seem to be quick, this new Porsche. They're performing well, and there's a big block of them there. Oh,
here we go.
Oh, as I say that.
Two Porsches holding hands as they headed off to the tyre wall.
What happened there? Yeah, they did look like they were conjoined at the hip, didn't they?
Yeah, that was Rick Vincent and Andrew Dutch by the looks of it. So let's certainly have a look at the cars down the left-hand side there. Excellent. Glad you're enjoying yourself over there. Yeah, look at the cars that the drivers have chosen. Porsche, McLaren, Mercedes, Porsche, Lambo, BM, Porsche, and then 12th all the way down to 16th. Everyone's decided they're going to give this new Porsche a red hot go.
Yeah, it's we've seen Porsche be fast before. It's good through the corners, all that sort of thing. Yeah, no love for some of the makes. Really, there's certainly not much love for the McLaren, but nevertheless, they're just giving it a shot. He hasn't made. He's actually started losing ground on Mitchell and Blissett ahead, still within that slipstream, so probably saving a bit of fuel and looking to jump within one of the stops along. But certainly not really actively trying to make moves at this point. Cox is only 1.5 seconds back from these guys as well, so this battle pack could close up if they do start fighting.
Yes, they certainly could, and then there's another two in very close company just behind that. But Dench has put his foot down a little bit. He's obviously got the numbers coming in from the fuel conditions, and he's closed right up onto the back of Blissett. He was just sitting back that little bit. It's 1.2 then back to Cox and Kelly, the two you were talking about. Then 1.7 back to Chuck Fung Wong and Nick Wood. Just that little bit further back, so it's little battles in two here. He's going to have a look too, Nick Wood, and you'll see this track is this corner always gets me. You never slow down quite enough and always end up running down to about here across the grass. But you can see it's all little blind apexes and undulating and little pitches on the road all over the place. So Wood's really having a good look at the back of this big fat Lambo of Chuk Fung Wong, and he's making up a little bit of ground. And here we go, good look at this corner. You really have to slow it down, but it's not a big hard stop. It's just a progressive slow down as you enter it, and then here you've just it's a bit like the Maggots and Beckett's through Silverstone. You've got to be in the right place before the corner that you're next looking at, because you get a little bit wide, a little bit out of shape, and all of a sudden the whole rest of the sequence really starts smacking you around the head.
Yeah, it sure does, and you can lose heaps of time through there, but often there's not that much the car behind can do about it, because this section you really don't want to be going side by side, and it's not that wide a track. No. One nudge, and you see how much grass there is before there's any stopping point, and grass is ice in our racing.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Nick Wood probably just sizing up his options here. Maybe I haven't heard him doing much in the way of fuel saving, and just thinking of Matty Dench in the McLaren, he certainly won't be saving in fuel by having the exhaust flames pouring out the back. Let's have a look. Scott Wooden, he's going to get a tap from the inside. I expect from the purple car. No, it's two in front of them. And just trying to get yourself through there. Twitchy foot for Scott Wooden there, and probably one of the very few Ferraris out there. The
only one. Yeah, there's a few solo cars out there tonight. So Dench's McLaren, I think Wong in
there we go.
Lambo as well.
Yeah, they're both off on themselves.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're talking about. You find yourself carrying just a little bit of speed, just a little bit too wide, and the grass is just calling you over for a little picnic. It's just saying, come and have a little sit down with us. Here we go, down the inside. It looks like there wasn't much room there. Maybe just a little touch, a bit hard to tell from all the way back there, but it was pretty willing to throw himself in there, and you'll probably think twice about that to do it again. Side by side, he probably had it there, and he's just copped the bump, so it'll be interesting to see if race control wants a little chat about that, but just two guys.
Oh, Glissit's off in second place, I think.
Oscar Glissett is gone.
It's right down the order now.
Jared
And he's
Knight
calling it to race control too, so something's happened to him now.
Jared Knight's left the building by the looks of it. John Jennings having some mishap. So here's Glissett.
Oh, was that Richard? Richard just went off.
That was, yeah, and I must come on. Unsafe rejoin.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. Look, if we can have a look at that one again, because Richard had just gone. We were on board with Richard Mitchum through here.
As Dench takes the lead of the race as well.
Get it lined up. Oh, yeah, you see the car just got unsettled over that first curb. He's heading for the... He had no control whatsoever, and unfortunately for Glissett. Oh, Richard's just gone for a Tosca. He's off to Macca's.
It's about 4 drive-through penalties worth, I think. That course.
He'll have about 6 minutes stop and hold.
Yeah, I mean, it might save some fuel at least.
Brock Kelly now right on the back of Dench. So Dench obviously hasn't found quite the setup that he's happy with, or he's doing a regular old fuel save. We're yet to see, but that car of Brock Kelly's, the front of it looks like an old American hot rod. Teeth across the front.
The plus side with him using the McLaren, he's got a friggin' big warning light telling us when he's fuel saving.
That's it. Yeah, we'll have people won't have to paint flames onto the front of their cars after following around behind Matt. They'll have it built in. Oh dear. So where are we at? 46 minutes and a quarter, or and a half, just under, to go in this race. So that means we're about 13:44 into the race. And Matty Dench is holding it just on to the front. Brock Kelly, we've seen Brock Kelly very, very fast in just about anything he drives lately. So that's half a second is what it looks like there. Matt just a little bit wide on that apex and that one. So he's not really pushing the limits on it. Holding it in command because with 3/4 of the race still to go, it's a long way to go. Simon Cox then was just half a second back. Chuk Chung Wong in 4th spot. Brock Kelly's already up 5 spots, but we're looking at Jordan Malcolm now. And Jordan is up 8 spots. A couple in front of him, Wayne Hewitt is up 16 places in 12th place. But Jordan Malcolm again in the 1.9 NX Wraps iRacing or racing. Oh, big dive down the inside. Who on earth was that? Oscar Glissett coming back through the pack. No, was it? No, it's just trying to work out. Oscar Glissett just in front of him there. And behind Jordan Malcolm, Rob Hill dive down on Richard King there, Richard on Rob. I'm not sure who it was, but that was a really, really late lunge. Here we go. Oscar Glissett. I'm coming through. Ah, there we go.
He almost brought that up in time. It was just that split second later to not hit that apex. But yeah, I can imagine he'd be relatively frustrated now, having been fighting right at the top of the order and now being back in the pack. So hopefully pulls his head and keeps it all together. But yeah, you can sort of see the frustration with moves like that, right?
Well, he's sitting back down in 17th place, down 14. Last lap round, he set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:44.920, which is 4/10 faster than the guys up front, but 2 seconds faster than the guys around him. And so that's why he's in a bit of a rush to get through, because he's got absolute buckets of pace. But he just needs a couple of people to say, clearly you're faster than me, so I might not fight you too hard. But that's often a hard choice to make as a racer. Into the pits comes Glissett. So he's figured he's going to get a pit stop out of the way, get some clear track, hopefully, and then get out and get going.
Yeah, so I wonder whether those guys that pitted even earlier than this, whether they've added an extra pit stop to their timetable now. Mitchum obviously jumps out at that, who did pit earlier.
They should be able to make it. This would be do topping up now and then do a full stop later. I think if you do at least sort of 10 or so minutes, then he should be able to easily make it home just one more stop.
Okay.
Copy that. Yeah, so you go short.
Basically he's forced into the reverse strategy.
Yeah, and that could well work for him, because if he gets some nice clean air and can make some good laps, he should be able to pass some of those guys in between.
It's probably the best way for him to move himself forward. Like, the downside is you have more fuel on board for most of the section, which in the GT3s does cost a bit of lap time, but also clear air gives him some of that back. So it's sort of he's a robbing Peter to pay Paul type situation, but hopefully that's for the best attack he can do from here to try and get back towards the front of the field there after that mishap with Richard.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate there. And am I right in saying that fuel covers tyre change these days?
So the rules are they have one set of tyres to choose if they so wish, but with the fuel percent limit that we have, because we only do the 1 hour races generally, so we get a bit of a limit with the fuel. If you do a full tank of fuel, so if you go from basically bone dry empty and fill it right up and take tyres, the tyres will cost you about 2 seconds extra.
Okay,
that's only if you take all 4. If you take three or less, because each tyre is done individually, it's done within. It's only if you take all 4 tyres where it's a super cost. So a lot of these guys will take one side on one stop and the other side on the other stop, or just one side, one stop, and that's it.
Yeah, well, being a clockwise circuit, the outside lefts will, either side's going to be outside, but the lefts will be the tyres that are wearing. But someone like Oscar, who's way out of place, he might choose to take that 2 seconds, and if he can make that up in a lap, which he was on the other boys.
What Oscar might do is, because this is a short stop, he might take the inside tyres in this stop, because the outside tyres are still alright, and then take the outside tyres in the next stop and give him some fresh tyres to run home.
Yeah, interesting. And we didn't see if he took any tyres, so that'll remain a mystery.
It was only a 13-second stop, so you may not have. You might just squeeze 2 tyres in, because it's 20 seconds to take all 4 tyres. Right. It's 22 seconds, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, Oscar Glissett now is out in 23rd spot. He is 13.5 seconds behind the car in front, which is Martin Carew. So we'll have to look when he comes round for another full lap. But he's last time we had times from him without the pit stop. He was 2 seconds faster than those guys in that area. So he didn't actually lose too many places with that pit stop. The Porsche really looks handy under braking with bench is just taking it easy here, throwing the waste fuel out the back. And I love the sound of the McLaren from inside as well. It's I can't drive the Lando or the Audi because that screaming S10 gives me a headache for that 2 seconds. But yeah, look, it's very different characteristics. The Porsche, of course, is a brand new car on the server, and the McLaren's probably one of the longest standing ones, been in here for the longest time. To see Ferrari got an update not so long ago. BMW is probably still the original sort of car. Not sure, but yeah, Gliss is still travelling a good couple of seconds faster.
The McLaren's probably the oldest current car. Like, it's probably one of the original GT3s ever in the service, other than the actual Ford GT, which no one's running. Well, there is someone running it in the AM split, so we'll see that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, like I think currently, because we've had BMW has replaced the Z4, the Porsche has replaced itself. We had a second-gen Merc and a second-gen Ferrari.
Oh,
so,
look at this.
Oh,
Jeff Adams.
Oh, that's tight. So the Audi and the McLaren are probably the only OG ones left on the in the GT3s.
Yeah.
And the Ford.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, yeah. And so did Jeff Adams get a spot there, or is he trying? Oh, two of them into the pits. 3, there we go. So Arnott, Adams, Dickerson, sorry, all jump into the pits at this point in time. That's 21.5 minutes done.
So there's a good chance the rest of the field will be in next lap, and then the fuel savers might be the lap after.
Right, so is this about as far as you get on a tank?
So it's around 20, I think I've got it, so it's about 26 minutes. 26 minutes on a full, like, flat-out run around Road America. But obviously each track's slightly different, and each driver is slightly different. So,
copy that. So it must have just been 2 tyres going on there for I think it's Glenn Arnott. Yeah, in the BMW, that'll be right. So he popped up on the stocks, and Jeff King did not.
Denchi.
Oh. Was that on his own?
Well, we'll have to find out in a second. There wasn't anyone around him.
Oh,
unless.
Grasshopper.
There's a bit of an interesting spot. He hasn't lost too much. That's Brock up ahead, the bright green car. So he hasn't lost a lot of time, but it's enough.
And goes to what you were saying, Sam, that it is tricky to keep on the track. Here we go.
Oh, it's just got grass.
Smallest little bit of grass on the exit of the curbing. Wow, that is massively consequential for that tiny little, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Let's call it 10 centimetres wide as he came over there.
And straight into the pits for him as well.
We have a fuel saver.
Nick Wood's gone on another one.
You have been spotted, sir.
Yes.
He has a friend.
Alan Holgerson. Alrighty. We'll see how the rest of them go. Jordan Malcolm looks like he might be travelling on for another. Yes, he is. So starting to get interesting. 23 and a half minutes gone. And out comes Brock Kelly. And it really looks like an old hot rod to me. So the teeth across the front.
Denchi also had a quick stop there. Like Brock took 18 seconds worth of fuel. Denchi only took 14.
Yep.
Early on, trying to get his track position back from that spin by taking his normal fuel credits early.
Yes. Yeah, it just threw him off, didn't it? It was such a small amount to miss that curb by. All right, settled down just for the moment. Nick Wood leading. He's still got to pit, as does Alan Holgerson and Jordan Malcolm. So they're the 3 who have yet to pit. Jeff Adams right on the back of Glenn Arnott still. John Jennings, he's been having a bit of a rough night.
Yeah, Oscar Glisser up to 12th now as well. So made places with that early stop. I think he's down to about 20th or something after that. So we'll see whether he makes his way through the field too.
He took a very similar fuel load to Denchi too, so he's still in the fight. He's not out of it. He might be able to get himself back in the top 5. It would be an achievable goal. I think we'd be aiming for. So the 3 fuel savers are in now. So we'll get our field cleansed on this time by and see where everyone's at.
Right. So Glissett right on the back of Jeff Adams, and Adams has been really quite punchy with the cars in and about in Glen Arnott. So Oscar's going to have to be a little bit patient here, and well, there's two ways of going about it. First way is to throw it in at the minute you arrive and not give them a chance to figure you out. Here he goes. Just going to have a look down here. That time around, let's have a look at the times as they come across the line.
They'll be a little bit slow because they're coming out of the pits.
46.6. Yeah, he's.
So they're all doing
Well, he
40.
got past Jeff Adams there, so that's really nicely done by Glissett. Adams might be aware of where that's, the disparity of pace, if there is some. But he might also remember that Oscar probably had a few words to say over the comms and realise that he might be a bit steamed up, so just give him a fair run through.
And also, just an apology also with the broadcast. I've been called out. Apparently iRacing have done an update on VIR, and unlike some other tracks like Watkins Glen where they just put their new scan on top of the old scan, for some reason they've raised Virginia about 50 metres into the air on its platform. So all my cameras run to the ground on my normal set. So all my drone cameras, everything would be basically ground level. So unfortunately, we're just on default cameras tonight, which is why we haven't got some of the angles we normally have. So apologise for that.
We're doing just fine, thanks, Adam. There's a big one for Rick Vincent. He's not enjoying his evening in this Porsche. That looks pretty substantial on the front. It's not looking like it should. Or is it?
I think
it looked like it was pretty bent up before.
It's a long way back. Oh, he's done the same thing again.
Just wide.
But then is he going to be able to pull up? No, he can't pull up the corner.
Oh, and okay, the car's certainly made of stern stuff, and I expected that to have a lot of damage.
So he's tried to save it from his previous mistake. He learned his lesson, but then obviously couldn't stop the car. He must have he's probably meatball. He's probably got a meatball from it. So unfortunately, that's not going well.
Yeah. So Oscar Glissett now up to, and it's Tafari is accepting your apology, Adam. So he's happy. Last time round, Glissett was 0.8 quicker than Glen Arnott in front of him, and here he comes. He's absolutely barreling at him. Let's see if he can do it at the end of this long straight, if he's prepared to wait that long. Get a good run through here, keep it on the island. Hard braking into here, not quite. Then you've got the second part of the big long drag down here. He might be able to do something here if he's got that wing wound right out, and Arnott's got a little bit more room. Head down here and try and close this. John Jennings just limping back there. Really trying to get in there, but again from here on, there's not much you can do. But he's right on his tail now. Just sort your way through this never-ending series of S-bends and little jinks and weaves. What are we looking at here? This is Richard Mitchell. He's going to do the same thing again, is he? Oh. Tried to grab it, just high-sided and right on the ragged edge, I would think, for Richard Mitchell.
It's probably one of the trickiest corners on the track, that one.
Oh, yeah. Here's Glissett now, right with him. Oh, and the place on the track where you can't do much. Look at Arnott just putting the car in the best possible place to stymie his run. A little bit wide through there. Glissett winding this Porsche up right with him. There really is nowhere to go too wide through here. I wouldn't have thought he'll be certainly showing the nose, but he'll go through this next little sequence of corners. This is a tricky one that's catching him out. Got to slow down, got to get the nose in, and now he wants to get right up the inside into the corner, but that's not going to happen this time through.
So I'm kind of wondering that wonder if that show the nose was a show the nose, or if it was me, that would be just me trying to find out where the corners are. Just trying to look around the car, because it's a big high boot of that Beamer. Can't really see through its window. It's got so much of a roll cage in here. So it's basically a big blob in front of you, so it's blocking everything. So visibility is poor on the Oscar Glissett front. He's doing his best to get by.
Yep. It's like when you've got a semi in front of you and you're trying to overtake. It's like, oh, is it? Oh, can I? No. But yeah, that could be the case.
Yeah, and being a BMW as well, it won't indicate which way it's going. So, as well, just out front too, this is closing up as well. Cox is 8 tenths behind Kelly, and Cox is only 4 tenths ahead of Denchi. So they've just closed that up. I wonder whether we'll save a little bit of fuel behind Cox until the next stop and then take it out. But he's right there with him now, 3 tenths back.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it.
Oh, don't be beach.
Oh, he got out. Yeah, there's no real hard brake and tight turn that you can get up alongside. The braking distances are fairly short, so someone appreciates your BMW humour there, Sam.
I'm glad.
But yeah, really, that as I said, the best passing opportunity is when the other bloke's off the track. It's a tough old course, and relentless too. It's just even though you're on what looks like a straight here in the next one, there's not much in the way of a rest as you're plotting and planning and clenching your teeth as you're trying to wring that last little kilometre an hour out of your car.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I remember when I started sim racing on the little plastic wheel about 1.5 years ago on Forza. You do like the random races. When it got to Virginia, you just go, oh, really? This is just going to be a big accident.
That was the same boat. I almost preferred Rio over this.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
So Glissett is by Arnott. Was he behind him before? He's now on the back of Burhop, a couple of seconds back, so he can put the hammer down. All right, Glissett on Arnott.
That's gone wide.
There you go. That's exactly it. Virginia 101. Wait for the other bloke to make a mistake. Oh, this is starting to get spicy though. Simon Cox doing a great job in here, just 4 and a bit tenths behind Brock Kelly. And then Matty Dench just half that. Aaron Cooper then 3.2 back from there in 4th place. Up 6 spots, as is Brock Kelly. Chuk Fong Wong driving where he started. He's back in 5th with Nick Wood in 6th. Alan Holgerson 7, Adam Burhop 8, Oscar Glissett 9, Glenn Arnott 10, and Glissett 2.5 seconds back on Burhop.
Yeah, Glissett's still the fastest guy in the top 10 on the last lap to Holgerson, getting his best lap in the 2nd place, and then those top 6 guys are all within, they're getting laps within 2 tenths of all each other. This is heating up at the top here now.
Yoss is still the only person to get a 44. Everyone else has been in the 45 as their best lap. An interesting thing with the GT3s this season, like with the new tyre model and everything, even though some of the guys are taking the fresh side tyres and having lower fuel loads, the fastest laps getting set early in the race and very rarely getting done later in the race.
Yeah, what's our track temperature currently, Adam?
Oh,
You've got access to that?
It's just gone wide off the track.
43 degrees. Yeah, 39 ambient, 43 track. So 39 degrees wind angle, 21 on ambient, and 43. So time is 4:15 in the afternoon.
That summer sun with the UV is heating that track up.
Oh yeah, and this is going to get a little bit spicy through here, I think. Dench is right with Cox, but I reckon if it were me, and I'm no genius racer, I'd sit back and see if Cox wants to go and pick up the pieces after that, but we'll see.
And also to keep in the back of their head is the fuel window opens up in the next lap or so.
Yeah, full tank load will get you home from about.
You could probably make it on this lap, but it might be a little risky. Next lap to be definitely safe as houses.
Right. It'll be interesting to see who does what then if Cox decides to come in and play the undercut. If Dench tries to do the same thing, be very interesting.
It will, because Dench took 4 or 5 seconds less fuel than these guys in his first stop as well. So, you know, we know he can save it, but is he saving 4 or 5 seconds? We'll have to find out there.
The problem with the undercut is if you look at the track map and where they come out, is a lot of traffic.
Yes, indeed. All right, Glissett's still on a charge. That gap's come down by a second, so it's 1.4 seconds to Burhop. Oh, it's just gone out to 1 point. I think there's a little bit of toing and froing going on there, but now Dench is all over Cox. A skid lit art car. Barbecue Motorsport.
Cooper making up ground on these guys slowly as well. It's not heaps, but he's made 4 or 5 tenths in the last couple of laps. So if they keep fighting, he'll be right there. Wouldn't Wong have been having a battle race as well. They've been doing a great job there too. I think
that's very close. Sorry, Sam. Dench was ever so close. He's applying the blowtorch from the front of the car, not the back. Someone's not quick through there. Kelly's had a moment.
Yeah, Brock was sliding out of the little chicane. Yeah,
looks like those Porsches are a little bit jumpy on some of these apexes, the curbs. Just
with the grass there as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dench certainly. He's got that blowtorch turned around. He's got the exhaust coming out the front now. I think they're applying the heat to Cox in front. Yeah, they're all 43-degree track temperature. They're all just hanging on. Here we go.
Here we go.
Does Kelly not mind if someone gets by him? Or has he got no choice? Are those tyres done? Or is he trying to get one extra lap?
So to fight that. But yeah, he does look to be struggling. It's weakly, that car too. So I think it's time for a tyre change for him. But no, he goes around for another lap. So now he'll be under immense pressure from Dench. Cox has taken it and run with it, really. Stretched out 7 tenths already. So we'll see if he can keep that up and pull ahead a little bit. Cooper right there now, ready to join this battle. Only just over a second back from these front three.
Yeah, and Glissett's got through Burhop and he's now up into 8th spot, so he is absolutely on a charge. 2.7 to catch Holgersen next. Last time round, he was 7 tenths of a second faster.
So down a little moment from Kelly where he checked up, he also held Dench up, which has given Cooper a 1.5 second gain in this track. So he's now right on the cusp of joining the slipstream.
Yeah, well, Dench has got to decide: do I stick behind and just go with the flow, or do I try and force something to get through Kelly? Because if Kelly's going to hold him up, that's going to give Cox a fantastic opportunity to just stretch away a little bit. And here's Aaron. Wow, he's closed that up very, very quickly, Aaron Cooper.
Interesting, one Porsche struggling, but one Porsche thriving.
Oh, Glissett just had an off track. He had a moment. He only lost one spot there back to Burhop.
This is that same corner again.
This one, yeah. Oh, yeah, very wide. Geez, done well to hang on to that and not do exactly what.
Yeah. He came on a little bit earlier, which is what the road car needed to do earlier on. Just to get the brakes on. Basically, minimise the pain there.
Yep. And when you're driving 10 tenths the whole way, it's you know, you're just that much closer to an accident at any one point in time. So he has absolutely been wringing the neck of that vehicle and doing a great job. So he's gone into the pits now, Glissett. Reese Dickerson is in the pits as well. So Glissett, it'd be interesting to see if he was jumping some tyres on. We'll probably tell from the stops. Yes, he is up on the air jacks. All right, let's have a run through the field. Wayne Hewitt is up 15 spots in 13th, but the pit stops are coming. We'll do a run through after pit stops are cleared out a little bit. But your top 5 are Cox, Kelly, Dench, Cooper, and Fung Wong. Yes, very much so. Nice observations. All right, looks like Kelly's dropping back into a fairly good rhythm. Last lap round was 146.23 for Cox, 146.34 for Kelly, and 146.24 for Dench, and a 145.68 for Aaron Cooper. So that's where he came from. He made up a second on him in just one lap.
I'm going to assume the SDK's got that second sector a bit out of whack.
Okay. Yes.
So Kelly comes into pit lane as well. So
right.
Clearly, which I think makes sense because he was under a lot of pressure from Dench and was struggling there for a little bit. So probably time to change some tyres and fill up for that final bit. I'm not sure who was the first to pit. Where are they in traffic?
Oh no, it's
Glissett is back.
Glissett, actually.
Alrighty, so Dench, what can he do? He's closed that up pretty quick, actually. That's down to half a second already. It's what's the Dench equivalent of hammer time? I think he's just got the big RM Williams planted down and pushing the accelerator through the firewall of that McLaren. What can he do here? What sort of pressure can he apply? And Cooper's coming along fairly handily as well. Oh, he's right with him. Seems he's got a little bit in reserve, doesn't it? He's been able to close that down very, very quickly. He wants to get this done as soon as he can, so he's got a good shot of getting by Cox. By the other bloke.
Yeah, so Kelly he's just ahead of a couple of other guys. Almost got really caught up in traffic, but I think he's gotten away with it. Now he's actually got clear air ahead, 6 seconds to Rob Hill. It's interesting to see where Glissett came at. He's still a fair way off Kelly, so he'll probably still end up in the top 10, but it's not going to be fighting right at the front.
A lot of fastest laps, personal bests popping up. Cooper, 145.599 last time around. Dave Oliver's put his best in. Up 16 spots, Dave Oliver in 13th. So he's had a good run. But Wayne Hewitt now up 20 spots. Obviously pit stops are yet to play out. But Brock Kelly sitting in 12th. Matty Dench is out in 9th spot. So Dench is way up on Kelly. Or just the car in front of him and 2.8 seconds. So that's certainly worked well for him.
He's saved a huge amount of fuel there. He's probably saved about 4 or 5 seconds on the rest of the pack around him because they had much longer stops the first time.
A second faster than Brock that time, I think. But Brock Kelly's transit was about a second longer. So I think Brock's outlap has been handed by a bit of traffic because he's definitely lost a bit of time there. And it's not just the fuel like normal, it's actually some other factors.
Yeah, so I was looking on my screen and he was having a massive battle with, I think it was Christensen and Dave Oliver. They were going 2 or 3 wide, so that must have cost him quite a lot.
Well, Matty as well on our Thursday broadcast last season he let slip that when he goes into the pits, he never uses pit lane limiter because he reckons he can save almost a second in the pits. And it's, you know, fine margins. You could gain a second or you could lose 40. Off we go. Who's that? Braden O'Loughlin. That's not a good way to...
Same corner again, I think.
Yeah, it's you go wide on the exit and then just spear across the track. Oh, infuriating. So Dench currently with 5.2 second lead over Kelly. He's got the hammer down. Trips and Longs come into the pits. And yeah, that's a nice way to treat the brand new 992. Oh, don't go. Don't. Oh.
That's broken rear suspension.
Oh, yeah. That'll ruin your night right there, Mr. Dutch. Head for the hills.
So Coxie used to come out at the end of the lead here. Oh, he still hasn't pitted yet. So
Coxie
still hasn't.
So,
still out.
Yeah, so Dench is still first on that front. But he's going to come up with traffic in a tip too, so see whether he gets past quick.
And it's Simon Cox's teammate, so there could be some Discord chat here.
Yeah. Dench closing in on the back of Rob Hill. In the other Dench in the McLaren, the Mercedes. It's easy to remember the McLaren because Dench is the only one running it. So that is Rob Hill in front and then Jordan Malcolm in front of that by not very much. So Dench has got that down to 0.8 of a second very, very quickly, lighting up green sectors all over the place. Last lap round was 1:46.035. So here we go. Cox into the pits, Cooper into the pits as well. Nick Wood is now leading the race. Dench on Hill. Hill a little bit out of shape.
It's going to slow Denchy up a little bit there. Who is pitting? He's called it over the radio.
Very good. Well done, sir.
We're on the move.
And he's flown by, hasn't he? Oh, no, here he comes. Oh, this will be very close. Has he got it done? Has he got it done? Has he got it done?
Has it?
Oh. He's got warm tyres.
Battle resumes.
Yes, battle resumes in earnest. Oh, look, he's right up his tailpipe. In the nicest possible way, of course. Interesting to know. Oh, he's gone wide. Oh, the car in front, Simon Cox, he's I reckon he maybe tyres and he's just struggling with balance a little bit. Dench has got to get it done sooner rather than later. Don't go too far there, Matty. Oh, wind it up.
So it looks, I reckon Brock Kelly must have had must have been a lot of traffic on the shooting the pits because he was fighting, you know, at the front of these guys, and he's 4 seconds back now while all of them are together. So it's going to be a big battle to the end. Simon Cox leading the race once pit stops are taken into account. Only Wood, Holgerson and Malcolm yet to pit here while having 9th down the back of it.
So I think this is Brock's out lap here, so he's got called out with these guys coming around. He's got by pretty quick, so I don't know. The touch there, a little touch.
Big wiggle.
That probably cost a little bit of time. It doesn't explain all of it, but I'd say that's a bit of the problem.
I think he's going to need some assistance to get out of that seat. That was certainly a butt clincher, that one. Dench all over the back of him here. Look him go. So Holgerson and Malcolm have come in and pitted. Dench putting the pressure on with everything he's got. Cooper's had a stellar drive just tucked in behind there. He's done everything right to this point in time, and because I'm not pushing the buttons, I can say that about people. I won't send them spearing off the track with just one camera selection. So well done to Aaron Cooper so far.
I wonder where this next move's going to be. They're sort of just holding fort in line at the moment. Are they waiting for a chance to bounce? Are they waiting for a mistake? What's going to be the plan here? Yeah, he looks aggressive. He looks close, and Dench in there. And Cooper's right there to pick up the pieces if they do start fighting, which will cost them a lot of time around here. Look at the drive out the corner that Dench got there. But not looking like he's got everything in the tank ready to go after Cox. It looks like it's going to be a fair battle here.
Yeah, I think so. He's if nothing else, he's learned over the couple of years that we've had in iRacing at the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. He's learned to be patient, and it's very easy to be. A lot of strategy, absolutely. It's very easy to be patient when you know you've got a couple of tenths on the other bloke.
Yeah.
And so long as you're always there, or he checks inside.
Oh, Nick Wood has joined this battle.
Yeah. So his fuel
that
save has worked out a treat. His pit time was lower. Yeah. Wow. Great strategy for Nick Wood there.
Oh, a little bit wide. A little bit wide is to Cox. Dench is just hunting all over the back of him. It's Wabbit season. It's Cox season. He's all over him. Oh, and so hard for Dench or any of these guys to follow right in the tail tyre tracks of the other guy through here, because you don't get a good look at that next apex. Look at Coop. He's putting it on Dench now. Fantastic racing. Only 8 minutes to go, boys. It's flown by.
Yeah, the other interesting thing too is, although the field is majority Porsches, with the Porsche being the newest car in the sim, top four are all separate manufacturers.
Yes, they are.
Just this little cake of the car, not a single double up until you get back to Brock Kelly there.
Yep, and then the Lambo.
And then straight after, you got a Lambo, and then you got another Mercedes. So 6 cars there in the top. Very good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It does seem like they have balanced the GT3s a lot more now. It sort of used to be that there was one car that would be, a good few tenths quicker. And now it does look like there's a number of competitive vehicles, at least at the right hands.
Which is a tricky balance to do, because you want them to be competitive, but you also want them to keep their idiosyncrasies of having their own strengths and weaknesses to have a reason to have the cars being different.
Exactly.
So Glissett, just out of interest, is travelling with a 45.997. These guys are 46 1s and 2s, so he's not making that much ground. He's got 3 seconds to catch back up to Burhop again, but he's running in 9th.
Oh, he's going for it.
Let's make him move.
The one time Coxie doesn't make a mistake is when Denji goes for it.
Well done, Matthew Dench. Wow. Can he pull out some gap, because you watch Cooper try and do the same thing, and Nick Wood will want a piece of it as well. And there's Brock Kelly in the back of that shot. Brock Kelly's about 2.6 back on Nick Wood. Hungry Porsche in the background there. Can they keep it all?
Four of them!
They must have run all the grass off there, and it's down to cement or something. I tell you what, they're leaving nothing in reserve. Can you put up the sector splits, please, Adam, between Benji and Cox, and we'll see where he's making or losing ground. Lovely. I reckon anytime you're talking hundreds and thousands, there's it's pretty bloody close. There's tenths in there. And that, just clarify from me, Adam, that's indicating Cox was 0.11 slower than Dan.
So
0.164 slower than Cox?
No, it's all relation to Dench. So whoever the top driver is the relative.
Yep. Oh, here comes Cooper. Oh, and Cox defends.
Oh, he's going to go back under. He's going to go back under. He's got it done. Oh, and then Wood's going to be right there as well. So Cox, in the space of a lap, he's back to third and right under pressure by fourth. which it was always potentially going to happen because these guys were so close together. And as you said earlier, Grant, you go one corner slightly off your normal line round here, it just compromises you all the way through.
Yeah, just out of rhythm. That was beautiful by Cooper. He just showed the nose down the inside. Cox thought, I'd better defend this. And by doing that, he's just got off the line. And whether it was the track was a bit dirty or some marbles, but he's just run that little bit deep with a different braking point. Oh, here we go. Jeff Adams and the twitchy foot card right in front of him, Glenn Arnott. Yeah, great pass, Cooper. These boys are having a ding-dong battle. This is for 11th and 10th.
I was just going to say, we've got the three-way battle at the front, but there's another, like, 2 or 3 two-way battles and another 4-way battle back in the field, so...
Yeah. If I was Zach Caban, I'd be saying, we've got to get the mega wall. Glissett's been off track again, so he's having a moment. Oh, that was a look down the inside.
I think he just went wide at this corner. Oh! Okay.
Oh, how's your father? Tell you what, that was a bit pushy. I have to have another look at that, but these boys are, they've got the sheep station days. Oh no, teammate!
Oh no! And that's going to be ding, crikey.
Oh, Jeff Adams was having a wonderful night up until that point. His racing appeared to have been pretty clear. All of a sudden, Dench out to a 1.5 second lead, half second back to Cox, and 3/10 back to Wood.
So yeah, it's a little bit wide on the exit, and he's missed a gear or something.
That's ordinary. And then this one. He's hit a bit of the grass on the outside.
So Richard didn't know Jeff was there.
He just didn't know he was there, didn't he? Oh, dear me. Maybe they're not in the same Discord.
Oh, they probably would have been, but it would have been after the fact that he realised.
Yeah. No! Holgerson's just set his fastest lap of the race at 45.709. So, boys up front, Matty Dench last time round did a 145.4 flat. So, am I reading that right? Yes. So it skipped out 1.6 seconds. Cox now 1.2 back from Cooper. And Brock Kelly Nick Wood wanting to get something done sooner rather than later. We have just 2 minutes 33 to go with a 1 minute 45 lap time. Dave Riddell. Oh, twitchy foot's not having a particularly good run just through this last little bit. Drivers getting tired, tyres getting tired, track's probably about 45 degrees. So we might have this and one more. Where are they up to? No, they'll get across the line. So now they'll have...
They're going to have the white flag next time by.
Yeah. So this one and then final lap. Alrighty. Dench from Cooper, then Cox. Cooper's up 8 spots too, by the way, just quietly. So Dench in 1, Cooper in 2, Cox in 3, Nick Wood 4, Brock Kelly 5. Chuk Fung Wong has been the absolute invisible man out there, doing a fantastic job in the Lambo, running in 6th place, and doing a fantastic job in that vehicle. It's hard to get a real reference of how well the car's going, because he's doing a great job and there's no one to compare him to. Holgerson in 7, Burhop 8, Blissett 9, Jordan Malcolm 10. Then it's King, Dickerson, Arnott, Rob Hill takes us back to 15. Oliver, Chiplin, Carew, Riddell and Wooden and Hooper back to 21, and then the rest are a lap down or more from there. Wood right in the back box, but we're looking at Richard King battling with Jordan Malcolm in front and Blissett just behind.
Dickerson.
Sorry, Dickerson.
This is ahead of Jordan.
Yep, copy that. And commentators getting tired as well. When you're not used to it, I'm not match fit. Wonderful racing.
As well, Jeff Adams with a 15-second post-race penalty for contact with 015. It was 015.
That was the one where we thought maybe the 015 missed the gear possibly.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately, I think the penalty was already served by his teammate.
What
Yeah.
can Cox do here? What can Cox and Wood do? It's probably not late enough to talk about Wood and Cox, is it? But, anyway, doing a good job. Wood up 2 from his starting position, and Cox up 1 from his starting position, as is Matthew Dench. Oh, he's right on him now.
Dench is trying to do the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
He's gone wide. Oh, not quite.
Now Kelly's right in this fight. He's going to be hoping that something happens ahead, because they would be on final lap at the
Oh,
moment.
he's just out alongside Wood. Right there, if we take a wide shot, look at that. It's all over him. Oh, it shakes your Oh, Kelly, hang on to that. They're not.
How do they take so much grass through there? They're doing it regularly. It's very impressive that they're largely keeping that together.
As long as you don't change your inputs. Who's that? Glenn Arnott's just had an off track, but we're weaving, trying to break the toe. Cooper doing, Cox doing absolutely everything he can, but Wood's got a really good run on him here. Nowhere to overtake though.
I suspect Dench is going to do fastest lap here on the final lap. He tried for it last lap and got about a 10th off, and he's been making time this lap as well. Never one to leave points on the table.
No, currently held by Gliss at the fastest lap, but Matty Dench, dare we ever doubt him? Changes car, and across the line he comes, 45.18, so that's 2/10 slower than the fastest lap. Well done, Cooper, Cox.
Oh, side by side.
Holgerson and Fung Wong just hangs on to that, finishes up down 1 spot from his starting position, but fantastic job by him. Richard King here following right behind Jordan Malcolm. Jordan Malcolm will take out 10th spot, then it's Richard King and Oscar Reece Dickerson, in 12th will come across the line. Oscar Glissett ended up in 9th spot, so better than nothing, but not as good as he would have hoped. The pace he had, and that very, very unfortunate incident up the top of the track with the completely out of control returning vehicle. Just really bad luck. That was, of course, Richard Mitchum, who went out very early and called it quits 19 laps ago. And Detchy's still got some fire in the belly. Got fire in the backside as well, so I think he's a bit chuffed with that. I think he is a little bit chuffed.
He had to work for it. It was no easy race. But once he got out in front, he just put the hammer down. It was just, once again, well executed. But that front 4 or 5 guys, what a great race from all of them. Largely keeping it all together, and just very close quarters racing around a really difficult track.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Sam. Denchi obviously chose to. Here comes the team, Side Hustle Racing. Denchi obviously set himself a bit of a challenge, up the game a little bit with the McLaren. We'll never know if it's a quicker car or a better car or a worse car, because he's the only one in it. So he's thrown down the gauntlet, and tonight he's come out trumps.
Yeah, I'd say it's the only one in it for a reason though as well. Yeah, I can imagine it would be tricky. But yeah, brilliant race by him. Didn't quite get that fastest lap. He really pushed for it, but just seeing messages in the chat as well that the AM split was brilliant as well. So good racing all round tonight for GT3.
Excellent. So we'll just run through that. Dench obviously winning, Cooper 2, Cox in 3rd, Wood in 4th, Kelly 5th, Chuck Wong in 6th, Alan Holgerson. Nice work from Alan. He's he largely travelled under the radar as well in his Mercedes, and had a really good result in the end. Nearly got there on Fung Wong right at the last, just 0.027 between them as they came across the line. So really close there. Burhop in 8, Gliss at 9, Malcolm in 10, and then we go King, Dickerson, Hewitt. Hewitt ending up 15 spots up, so that's a nice run for him. Most places gained for him. That was 13th. Hill in 14th. Dave Oliver. Nice work from Dave Oliver to have climbed 14 spots up into 16th place. And then it was Arnott, Chiplin, Carew, Wooden, and Hooper. So quite a night of racing. That was great to have you on board, Sam. It was great to have someone with another set of eyes and another server to keep an eye on what's going on. Here we go, having a look at race results from the AM split. And Adam Lee Holland, he's been banging about up the top of that class and there and thereabouts for some time. So nice win from him. 15 seconds, so he was well out in front of Dane Snadden. Sean Rees, nice to see Sean pick up a third place there. Then it was Michael Schrader in 4, Ben Woods in 5, and Daniel Saar. As I said, Daniel's a man you're going to hear and see quite a bit more from around the club, brand new member, and he's done quite a bit of broadcasting in the past and rather enjoys mucking about with graphics and animations and the like as well. So a little bit of a like-for-like swap between he and I, it would seem. He'll probably do it far better than I. Mark Foster in 7th, William Yarwood 8th, Dale Sharp 9, and James Francone in 10th. Then it was Gallagher, Barnes, Bonici, Tiberti. It sounds like we've gone into Italy for some GT3 racing. Eldridge, Anderson, and Tim Fuge. Fuge finishing a lap down, so the top 16 cars all on this fairly considerable 1 minute 45 lap. Let's have a look. Their best lap time was 1:46.512, I think, for Lee Holland up the front. No, a 46 flat for Michael Schroeder, which goes against just about a 1:45 flat. So that's not far off the pace on a long lap like that. Schroeder might be challenging the split times there. But terrific racing all round. Virginia is a tricky track, and it showed that the best passing opportunity, as I suggested, is whilst your mate's off the track. But there were a couple of really good passes in there as well. Dedge did it when it needed to be done, as did Cooper. So nice work from all those boys. And we're joined first cab off the rank, and there's Matty Dench jumping in as well. But we'll have a quick chat with Dave Oliver. Dave, welcome aboard. You don't have Zach to chat to tonight. He's off otherwise occupied, but up 14 places from 29 to 15. Fair old outing, I should imagine.
Hey guys, yeah, it's a bit of a welcome return. I haven't run since the end of not last season, the season before, so just been a bit busy and whatnot. So yeah, it's good to be back in. I was planning to run last week but didn't have the track, but you know, that's what it is. But yeah, decided to jump in with about 10 minutes left, and I think I got about a lap and a half of running in. I even loaded up, didn't even have a setup, I just loaded up the iRacing high downforce set and just sent it. So yeah, so to go from the back of the grid to what was it, 15th, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So about halfway.
Yep, and your race pace was pretty representative. Were you were happy with the pace you were doing within the race? Because obviously, let's just wipe quali out completely. But did you feel you were getting the best you could out of the car given the setup and the conditions?
Yeah, it felt a little. I was just trying to get used to it again. Truthfully, it was, and obviously with the setup, you know, only a lap and a half, you don't really get a really good chance to feel how the tyres are going to go with the conditions, and a little, you know, brake bias change here and there, and that kind of, you know, settled me in there. I was a little bit skatey towards the end of that first stint, but that was obviously when you're battling cars and whatnot. So, but yeah, after that, you know, just kind of got my head back into the track, because I think I've only run this reconfigured or the rescanned version once before, so it's just trying to get all my turning cues and all that dialed in. But other than that, yeah, pretty
And
happy with how it went. So
you need plenty of those turning cues, don't you? Because the track
Tell me
is
about it.
just never straight, never ever straight. But track got pretty hot too there, 43, 44 degrees. Your BM was hanging on pretty well.
Yeah, it was just a case of just looking after the rears. I think I did changed all 4 tyres in the first stop, and then the left-hand sides in the second, and I ran them right through, so I had a shorter fuel right at the end there. So, and that's these cars kind of like it on lower fuel, so I could have jumped in early, but I kind of decided just to change it up a little bit and see how it handles the hotter temp. So yeah.
Copy that. I think Adam was saying there was just one spare set of tyres, so maybe you changed back on your original set if you changed the second time. I could be wrong, and one of the other boys could correct me, but I just want to thank Sam Chapman, who's just made his way out of the booth. Thank him very much for hanging on for commentary. Give me a hand out, but yeah, Dave, I don't know if Adam's got he's probably doing points right now, so I'll not bother him. But next week, that's absolute classic for GT3s. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I go there, if I'm available to run, and especially if I get some practice during the 24-hour race at all. I wasn't planning to be around this weekend. I was looking to be up in Queensland for the ARC rally, but yeah, plans have changed, so I'll probably be stuck in Sydney. So yeah, might be able to do some of the Spa 24.
Excellent. All right, well, thanks for popping in. I'm not going to let this drag out as some other people sometimes do with their Monday evening discussions. So I'll thank you very much for popping in and giving us something to chat about. Well done this evening, and look forward to hopefully having you back on track on a number of more occasions, and for you to maybe get a little bit more practice time and quality time. So thanks very much, Dave. Good luck, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks again for Adam and yourself and Sam for the broadcast and for running everything. So yeah, thanks again.
You're very welcome. Mr. Dench, good evening and welcome to Season 3. The McLaren, tell me a little bit about your choice, the reasons for, and how it's living up to your hopes and expectations.
I've always known the McLaren's pretty tricky to drive, so after driving the Audi and the Lambo, which can be a bit tricky as well, I thought we'd throw the McLaren in there before we jump over to one of the easier cars to drive.
Yeah, and there was a bit challenging in the early stages. Few people having some off. Certainly the top two getting taken out around that really tricky. Was it the left hand, the sharp left? Anyway, that was awfully bad luck for Oscar Glissett to have the careening Richard Mitchum come back on and take him out, but to your benefit. So it was a tricky night in the office.
Yeah, most definitely. Just that fast left, caught me out and had that spin. We were just sort of trying to be nice and gentle, and we had a bit of a gap into P1 there, and so we tried to grab the fastest lap of the race, and we just pushed a bit too hard there and spun the car, but we just went back to fuel saving and tried to make up that deficit.
And we can all see when you're fuel saving now, because you're throwing sheets of fire out the back as soon as you come off the throttle. But it's a nice sound the McLaren makes. I found I've driven that in the past and have rather liked it. But I remember one of the Turner boys gave me a setup, and he said, it's really quick. This is a number of years ago. It's a rocket under acceleration, but it's just a matter of trying to keep it straight. That you're running not much wing, and your ride heights are veering towards instability.
Yeah, you gotta have the McLaren set up so it's pretty dangerous to drive. That's how it goes fast. But you just got to be nice and gentle with your inputs, and you you can get it to go along pretty good. If you start pushing too hard like some of the other cars, then yeah, things just come unstuck pretty quick.
Yeah, it's very interesting throughout the course of the night because you know you didn't find yourself out in front. Was that a deliberate decision to try and save some fuel in behind some other cars?
No, like I tried to put it on pole, and Richard got it ahead of us there, and then going into turn one, I just let off, just thinking, you know, Oscar will just sit there, and he's poked a nose in and grabbed a spot. So yeah, we just sat in and followed along.
But you're confident for a large part of the race that when push came to shove on a track that has very little in the way of solid overtaking spots, you felt you could get the job done when the time came?
Yeah, like I think so. There's a couple of spots where the McLaren just sort of flows through the corner a bit quicker, and yeah, you can just sort of like chuck it down the inside like I did on those last few laps. So.
And it's really the sort of track to if you can apply pressure to the car in front, that's often your best chance of overtaking, isn't it? If you can just have them miss a mark or take a little bit too much curb, it's very handy having maybe a tenth or two to be able to close up on the cars in front and actually put that pressure on.
Yeah. If you can see where you're going, it's really good track to apply pressure. But yeah, with the McLaren, you got to be really put it in the right spot. So if you get too close to someone, you just literally can't see anything. So yeah, we just tried to keep a little gap between us.
Yeah, and that's up the hill from the flats here. Up the hill, you just have to be centimetre perfect, don't you? It's a bugger of a track, not very wide, and like you said, that left at the top of the hill, the fast left, that you don't want to wash off too much speed, but you've got to wash off enough. Very, very tricky track.
Yeah, that fast left, like I was having to lift quite early, like just before the crest as you come up to that. I was having to lift there and get onto the throttle really early, just to try and keep the car stable through there. So.
Yes, indeed. Braden O'Loughlin, good racing tonight. Pro split, it certainly was. Adam had the events coming up. I imagine you're fairly confident of Spa and Zolder and Atlanta. Is there anything in the schedule that's just sticking out for you a little bit to think, might have to spend a little bit of extra time working on that?
Probably Spa and a couple of the other tracks where, like, any of the tracks that got high speed corners, we're going to have to probably put a few laps in prior to race day, because the McLaren will no doubt make me do a couple of 360s otherwise.
Yeah, because Road Atlanta is a little bit similar to this in a lot of ways, isn't it? It's the sort of fields and ups and downs and lefts and rights, and that's a sprint actually. Just looking, the Spa is regular points next week, and then Zolder and Atlanta are both sprints, so Zolder's going to be pretty manic, I would have thought, and Road Atlanta shouldn't be too bad, but it's always tricky once you get back, as I believe you had some strife last week in the reverse grid race 2.
Yeah, race 2 last week. We just sort of tried to be nice and easy off the start there, and yeah, it was like 3 wide, and we just sort of took the middle lane there, and I let off early, just roll into the corner, and then I could only see the back of a Mercedes, and I didn't see the Porsche get spun in front. So everyone ahead of me just jumped on the anchors, and I just slammed into them all. So.
Oh dear, yeah, it's a bit of a lottery, the old sprints, isn't it? That. Then after Atlanta week, of course, Barcelona, this historic GP. It's probably the historic GP, because they've changed that again, haven't they? Barcelona, with taking the dinky little, certainly for the Formula Ones, taking the last couple of corners out. Right. And then Le Mans for a 90 minutes, so that'll be a reiteration. Was it the GT3s did a Enduro Le Mans last season, or was it the Porsches? I think it was Porsches, wasn't it? Phillip Island, that's always a bit of fun. Sprint around Phillip Island, 60 minutes at Bathurst, and then 90 minutes around absolute classic Road America. So, like you say, a little bit of practice at some of those GT tracks to try and find some confidence in the mighty McLaren.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Spa, Road Atlanta, Barcelona, and Le Mans. I'm going to have to put a bit of time, I think.
Ah, well. I'm sure you will, and I'm sure you'll give it the best crack that you can, and you know, we hope that your results reward the time and efforts you put in. But great to see you pick another car out of the quiver and bring it to the front of the field again. So well done to you, sir. We might leave it at that for interviews, and we'll get Adam off to bed at a good time, and yourself as well. So Matt, thanks so much for coming in, joining us, and having a good old chat. Zach should be back on deck next week, so you can have your usual chat with him then. But as I say, thanks very much. Congratulations tonight. That was a very well executed race, and it's good to see the Macca back on the grid.
Yeah, thanks. We'll catch everyone later in the week.
Good on you, Matt. Cheers. So, Adam, any thoughts that you want to add, or shall we just run into the wrap-up?
No, just if you want to just hit the wrap up, it's a good race tonight. It's one of those tracks. It's a very tricky track, very technical track, hard to see when you follow it. But as we saw tonight, actually produced some good racing. So good to see.
Yeah, and generally fairly tidy. It wasn't a real demolition derby. There was a few moments, of course, but often these tracks that are difficult to pass on can generate some rash decisions to be made. So round 2 done and dusted, and we can look forward to what else is coming up in and around the club, and what's going on. I'm not sure I'm sure you've got your schedule made up, but are we looking for a broadcast on Thursday? Is there likely to be one this week? Well, let's have a look. Up and comers, Phoenix Road Course Formula V's tomorrow night. 1400 IR at your first joining of it. There's always 3 sprint races, and the race 1 start is 7:50 p.m. Looking forward to the drivers getting in and around that. The V's running the first couple of rounds. I think if it's running a similar format to last year, it'll be V's followed by Mazda MX-5s, followed by quite a few MX-5s. Actually, the Toyota GR86, the Gazoo Racing, and that will be it. The 3 cars in there for up and comers. Just come back to here. Then Wednesday night, Oran Park, the GSRC Formula Ford. Race starts 7:30 p.m. 3 sprint races there as well. So not quite Formula V's. It's the next step up, 1600 cc's. And that's likely to be quite a bit of mayhem as well, and probably a lot of good fun. V8 supercars are at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza on Wednesday evening. Race start 8:45, 40-minute race. So the V8's getting another run this season. This season, of course, very much like last season, just one car change, I think, in the Friday nights, and we got rid of the little Clio Cup in Thursday night, and there is a broadcast coming. So looking forward to that. Production car challenge, Mustangs at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Oh, that'll be a bit of fun. Race starts 7:30. That'll be the first of the races, and it's 2 sprints right there. So the Mustang being dragged out. What car was the replacement for the Clio at the end of the musings of the drivers, Adam?
Aston Martin DB9R.
Ah, the DB9R. Thursday night, the Blackout Porsche Cup is finding its way to Donington Park for the GP track. Race start 8:45, 2 sprint races, and of course all these times are Australian Eastern Standard Time. Then over the page we will have Friday's Wings and Slicks and the Formula 3s, the Friday vehicle for this season, and another visit to Watkins Glen Boot. The race start is 8:15 and it's 2 sprint races, so no early race on a Friday. Lets you get your week out of the way and then jump on board for the Formula 3s at Watkins Glen. Saturday night is Bathurst Mountain Men Pontiac Solstice. Race start 8:30, always 32 laps, so stick about for that one, because no doubt going to be a lot of fun. Then next Monday night we come the full circle, and the Orbic GT4 Challenge finds its way to the Nürburgring GP track, the best WEC. Race starts 7:35, and as always 25-minute race, 1 pit stop generally required. Then Monday evening, the later race is Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Race start 8:45 for a 60-minute race, and that's one that Matty was saying he's going to have to find a little bit of time to find where the Macca runs around that track nicely, because as he said, it's got to be set up to be a little bit skittish, and you don't want to be going around Blanchemont or Eau Rouge and that sort of thing, and having a bit of mischief out of your vehicle. So that's our week of broadcasting. We do have the endurance. Ask and ye shall receive. Round 1, 6th of the 8th. That's about 3 weeks from now, and it's a Monza 4-hour. And there's GT3 and a hypercar, I think, is a different class. So it's something a little bit different for this season, but we can just have a quick look there. 3rd of the 9th is Road America 4-hour for round 2. Round 3 is Road America again. 6 hour times 2 time speed. Is that right? But there's 2 rounds at Road America?
No, that's one that John has misspelled. That's Road Atlanta. I think. Talk about track map.
Ah, yes, Road Atlanta, right here. No, it's not right here. This is Virginia, of course. Yeah, but similar sort of track, I find. Road Atlanta. Round 4 is Nürburgring 4-hour. So when we look at round 3, that's Road Atlanta. It's a 6-hour race, but the clock is travelling twice as fast. So it will likely either start in the dark or end in the dark, I would imagine, or just on dusk and dawn. So round 4, 5th of the 11th, Nürburgring 4-hour, and round 5, Le Mans 6-hour, and you will get a full day's time contracted and collapsed into that 6-hour race time. So there will certainly be an overnight portion of that. That's the 3rd of the 12th, and that, my goodness me, that brings us right up till Christmas. So there goes the rest of our year. But fantastic work as always to Adam. Got a little surprise, as he said, with the track having been elevated by about 160 metres. So nice work tonight, Adam, getting through what you did. But GSRC merch, myshopify.com. That's where you can do your membership, where you can get your shirts and your sloppies, your hoodies and your beer coolers or your coffee warmers or whatever you like, t-shirts. Right there, and I expect that's very similar to the shirt that will be heading Sam Chapman's way from the wonderful people at Orbic, who will be donating a shirt each week to the commentator's choice for the evening, and Zach can have that responsibility back next week. We didn't actually have a full run, audible run through our sponsors. So if you've got that set up, Adam, we might do that. And of course, we've got Waste Options, who bring us the GT3 every Monday night. And we thank Waste Options, who've been on board with us for a couple of weeks, a couple of seasons now. And we're very grateful for their support to bring the broadcast to you each week. The GT4s in the preceding race, brought to you by Orbic, IT, Office and Home IT. and they make their own laptops. A company out of America that Pete Matson's working for, and they've got some great cases for phones by Deborah Monte, which they're 100% eco. They're carbon neutral. So if you want to do your bit whilst you're using your phone, get in touch with Pete, and I'm sure he can arrange maybe a little sampler at a bit of a discount to you. So well done to Orbic. As well as Orbic, we've got Blackout Electrical Solutions, who bring us the Thursday night racing for the Porsche Cup, and we're hoping to have as many broadcasts as we can over the course of the season. And this week, indeed, we do have the Blackout broadcast on. Then we head to some other companies, Login Systems, who bring us the Enduro for, I think it's 5 times for the remainder of the season, and very big thanks to Login Systems, Managed IT Business Solutions. Another couple of companies that help out the club whilst not sponsoring and gaining naming rights to any particular class, but Astute Finance, Insurance and Wealth in East Brisbane. We thank them for their assistance given to the club. Fisher and Dorr Lawyers, beyond and above. So big thanks to them as well for helping us out. And of course, Flash Graphics, John Simpson having done the graphics for the Enduro there, and picking up some extra work around the club. He's got some really nice liveries. He is responsible for the Orbic liveries, and I believe he's done a safety car for the Enduro as well. So for all those people that are helping out the club with some financial assistance, a very big thank you to you all, and may you go well in your businesses and thrive and prosper. And Adam, I think that's about it. Have I missed anything?
You're good.
I think I'm good. Well, thank you very much for all your work, as always, with the points and everything else that goes on around the club. Very grateful for everything you do for the club. Next week, as I said, Zach Cabin will be back. I'm not sure if Zach's fronting up for commentary on Thursday night, but he's got quite a few things on his plate as well. So another night, about a month away, I think I might be popping back into the commentary booth. But to all of you who've been watching at home and who've enjoyed it, enjoyed the racing, to It's Tafari, for all your contributions. We'll have to figure out just who you are one day. But it's great to have your interaction, as well as Trent Lavis and the Dentures earlier on in the evening. Thanks to everyone around the club for all they do, and we wish you a very good week. Look out for broadcasts on Thursday night, and we'll see you in another time and another place. Good night for now, and from myself and Adam Lavis and Sam Chapman, and we'll catch you next time.